Our reliable or unreliable narrator's nib halts mid-sentence as his attention is abruptly drawn away from the page he is working on. From the hallway outside, a faint, dragging sound echoes through the stone corridor. There's a low, unsettling scrape, followed by a click, and a soft, rhythmic thud. His breath catches in his throat as he listens, every muscle tensing with an unease that tightens like a vice around his chest. The gas lanterns flicker, their lights sputtering as if in response to an unseen presence lurking just beyond the threshold of the room. Shadows are dancing along the wall, twisting and contorting within the dim light, obscuring the origin of the sound in the veil of darkness. Whatever is dragging itself through that hallway is concealed just out of sight, yet its presence is undeniable. A haunting reminder of the events that still ripple through his memory. He waits. His eyes are fixed on the doorway, straining to discern some shape or form in the murky gloom. The dragging sound continues. He hears the clicking again. And then it fades, leaving only the soft hiss of lanterns and the pounding of his own heartbeat. He lets out a breath, convinces himself that it was nothing more than a figment of memory, a specter conjured by the mind to haunt the present that he is in. Well, he hopes it was only that. With a steadying breath, he turns back to the journal before him, his nib poised over the page. Ink pools momentarily at the tip before he resumes writing, the scratch of metal on paper a small comfort against the lingering dread. Alec, he writes, stood up to Sebastian in a way that few ever could. That director of foreign affairs is a man who commands authority with every word, every gesture, and yet Alec, with his quiet resolve, met him blow for blow. It was as if Alec had channeled the very essence of defiance, refusing to be cowed by Sebastian's cold, calculating demeanor. In that moment, he showed strength of character that none of us had truly grasped until then. The nib moves smoothly across the page, detailing the harrowing events with precision that belies the chaos of upcoming moments. Nettie, with her surgical skill, proved to be our savior in the darkness. That glowworm had burrowed deep into Mary, its light pulsing through her veins, threatening to consume her from within. There was no room for error, no margin for hesitation. With hands steady and eyes fierce, Nettie extracted that vile creature with a deftness that left us all in awe. It was a battle fought not with swords or guns, but with scalpel and forceps. And in that blood-soaked moment, Nettie shone as the beacon of hope against the encroaching horror. He pauses again, glancing toward the shadowed doorway, his mind momentarily drifting to the sound that had passed through the hallway. There's only silence now, a silence that presses in around him as he continues. Theo, ever the strategist, positioned herself with Captain Hargrave. Her mind sharp and calculating, she saw a larger picture even as chaos erupted around us. While others might have panicked or faltered, she maintained her focus, steering Hargrave with a subtlety that was nothing short of masterful. In the midst of that storm, she was the anchor that held us fast, her keen intellect guiding us towards the path we needed to take. His writing grew more fervent as he was approaching the final part, recounting the moments leading to Roderick's pivotal role. And we anticipated all of Roderick's performance, he writes, his hand steady despite the turmoil in his thoughts. There's a power in words, in presence, and Roderick wielded both as a master swordsman might wield his blade. His gift for gab was not mere charm, it was a weapon, a shield, a cool under pressure, a means to navigate the treacherous waters we found ourselves in. When he faced Arcanus that night, it was more of a meeting of the minds. It was a crossing of two forces, each testing the mettle of the other. And we knew deep down that Roderick had the key to unraveling the knot of this night's mysteries. He set the nib down, its tip stained with the ink that now fills pages. For a moment, he sat in silence, the weight of events pressing heavily upon him. He looks back towards the corridor, and that unseen creature that might be dragging itself through darkness. Whatever it was, it remains a shadow upon his thoughts, just as the events aboard the Conqueror remain a shadow upon his soul. We cut down to a room that smells of ozone, that is thrumming in the heart and the guts of the Conqueror. There's a figure bound and gagged inside of a small, barred room. Within a room, a door opens. There's another shuffling as another body is tossed into this space, not bound, not gagged, wearing a familiar uniform aboard the ship, wearing a very simple sailor's cap. And he comes to as a door begins to slam shut and cranked. Where the fuck am I? As Tom looks around a space that is taller than what he's used to inside the guts of the Conqueror.
Oh no. No.
He looks out in front of him and he sees what appears to be about a 15-foot tall copper box of some kind. It's letting off very faint sparks. A gentle hum inside the room. And a little glass porthole on the side of this copper box that he can't get to because, like a lion in a zoo, he is behind bars. Kind of looks around looking for a clicking sound as inside that porthole something large shifts. And he looks behind him at the figure unconscious, bound and gagged in a very simple tuxedo.
Ow.
Decorated soldier. Roderick, we cut to you. You're sitting inside of your room. Familiar mirror in front of you. Lights kind of illuminating your face with that soft blue glow as you prepare to open up for the magician of the evening. Someone you are playing second fiddle to. What is going through your mind in this moment?
I'm just thinking about how I was told that Victor Arcanus is probably not a bad guy, and he's probably not one of the people, the villains that we're looking for, because Alistair had told me that he thinks he's just trying to make a name for himself, and I'm writing a letter to Dr. Arcanus, I think.
Okay.
I think that's what I would be doing, yes.
Okay.
I will not go into details. I may have already written that letter ahead of time and have it with me. We'll wait for that.
Okay. Nettie, you have completed a surgery unlike anything you have done before. Where do we find you in this moment? Seeing the things you've seen tonight up in the ballroom, seeing kind of this periphery play happening in front of you as they lock down the man that's been identified as the Shadow Hand.
I believe I had situated myself, hopefully semi-strategically, at the top of the stairs so I could still see
Correct.
into there, but also see down into the little bar elevator area.
Correct? What's going through your mind?
I think I am very concerned about this worm and the lies that have been told about its disappearance and where it is. Also, about the lies or the misportrayals of the weapons, because they are definitely marketed, so to speak, as being in the experimental stages, but they are very, very much beyond that. So, little disconcerted on a lot of levels, like as a scientist, as a soldier that had been in the field, seeing the harm that these weapons have caused. So,
Firsthand, you have seen, not just in the room down below, but on the field, these weapons the other side has. Theo, you went looking for Steve. You left him on the dance floor. He was...
Correction, he left me on the dance floor. There's a
difference. You know, invited him to this evening. As a date, potentially, as somebody that you have fought alongside for several years now, have lost people with, and all you found was a dented rail with a small spatter of blood on it, with no other indication as to where he might have gone. Where are you, and what is going through your mind right now?
So many things. Theo, I believe, went back to the bar, trying to sort of like piece together things, figure out, try and like
the bar in the ballroom, or the bar on the main level.
It was a bar on the second floor.
Yeah,
correct.
I think
up
it
in
was
the
the bar on the
balcony
second
other. Okay.
Yeah.
Correct.
So you're kind of up by where, or you can you're like looking down on everybody else.
Yes.
You're up on the balcony. Okay.
Yes.
Continue.
Kind of getting an idea, trying to, again, piece together the things that she has seen, that she has experienced tonight, and get an idea of how to find and prevent whatever impending horror is happening with the worms that are going on. She is very worried about Steve and Tom missing, because she clocked Steve, and she has not seen Tom since they came back up, which is
correct.
concerning.
You noticed Captain Hargrave coming up onto the ballroom floor for this performance, and Tom, who is usually attached to his hip,
is not there.
Is not there.
Yeah. I think Theo, in possibly at this moment of distraction where it seems as though everybody is coming up, I think she would try and get somebody and go back down, possibly, just to see if something happened, if, like, you know, they're in the whatever the barracks were that we found where we did the surgery, see if there was something else that was going on that, like, we hadn't seen or couldn't see because of the people that we were already with.
So you're making plans for something after the performance, because you spent your time prior to the performance looking for Steve. So like the strategist that you are looking ahead. You're looking to the future. Up on this balcony, you know, you're also looking outside, and a familiar landscape of West Rec is kind of right outside the window. You're kind of see it as clouds are passing through. You know that below you, there is war going on. Otherwhere is there. Your forces are there. So this is not just some little tour. but there's no artillery being fired at you. There's no any aircraft being fired at this dirigible that is larger than anything you have ever seen, and that is odd. And your eyes kind of glance back to the chandelier, getting lost in the stars that they provide and the horror that each one of those lights is a worm. Alec, you were the only one who did not do anything before these performances. Where are you?
I think I was on the second floor at the bar drinking to try to get my confidence and to kind of quiet certain things. I remember correctly, and maybe I'm wrong because it has been a week. I think I was watching Theo run to look after Steve, wanted to go do something, but did not. So I think he still would be at the bar when he would see her come back, kind of looking over the balcony and everything. Probably 3 going on 4 drinks in at this point.
Okay.
Ooh, drunk Alec.
Now, keep in
Here for
mind,
that.
this is also a space where you've not only felt the most in control of whatever your mother passed on to you, but also the quietest. It's been the most peaceful, and there are people that you have stood up to on this ship that you have never had the opportunity to do before.
I feel when he gets his 4th drink, and he's going to carry it with him, he probably will lock and see that Theo is probably a little anxious maybe, or something like that, looking around. He's going to stroll up confidently now, and he'll get next to her. Is everything okay? Did you find Steve? And he kind of stammers a little bit, but his words are definitely a lot smoother.
No, I can't find him. I'm worried that he is hurt. I found a dent outside, and I'm just worried.
So I think at this point he has his left hand has his drink, his right hand gets, like, he puts his right hand, let's say, on the railing, because I figured they're on a railing. It probably gets within about a ½ inch of hers. And then he says, well, if you need some help finding Steve, I'd be more than willing to help you find Steve. And perhaps we could find Tom as well, because he too is missing. And I'm slightly concerned about this.
I had noticed that as well. I think that would be a smart venture. I just can't lose anyone else.
Any ideas on where we should start?
Perhaps where they put the drunks?
On my way, and I down the 4th. And get a 5th.
Somebody was planning ahead.
So that's what I will be doing. Also,
go ahead.
I did leave my hat downstairs in the operating or makeshift operating room. Perhaps we could use that to our advantage, maybe to retrieve it, to get below decks once again.
Look at this masterful player, having plans upon plans to get us places.
Literally. I love this.
James doesn't look happy.
I just can't wait for this to all unfold.
It's gonna. Oh god. I'm not ready. But okay.
We are going to cut down to the bar on the 1st level. Nettie, you are the only person who sees this.
God, no.
You see Uncle Ali sitting at the bar. He's got like a crystal glass of some dark liquid. And he's just kind of tracing his finger along the top of it. Dr. Arcanus comes down and sits down right next to him. Go ahead and make whatever kind of roll you would make in this moment to attempt to overhear what he says to him.
I think I am... would this be more like... I think it would be a read.
Okay.
Kind of interpret their body language, how they're reacting. Did someone stiffen up? Are they stiffening him up, as they proceed to start talking to one another? Or are they even talking? There's no one even say anything. So I have 2 die for that. One of them is gilded. Ooh, I'll take the gilded 6. That means I get a drive back, correct?
When Dr. Arcanus, it does. When Dr. Arcanus sits down next to Uncle Al, there is a rigidity to Uncle Al's posture. Dr. Arcanus kind of still sits down in that florid, kind of slinky way that he's done, keeping on whatever persona he's been putting on for the evening. And outside of the puppy, what you hear is a completely different voice than the one you've been hearing all night. As Dr. Arcanus goes, "Hello there, Alistair." And you watch Uncle Ali take a second. "What's the baz, Chaz?" And because you rolled a 6, I see you brought the girls tonight.
Let's fucking go.
I didn't see that one.
Roderick, we're going to come back to you.
I'm lost. I don't understand what this means. I don't understand what just happened at all.
You are being walked.
Oh, God.
We're fast forwarding in time.
Over there anyway, so
Everybody is starting to assemble inside the ballroom. There, funnily enough, is one of those old posters of you with your original troupe. It's kind of like a vintage photo of you and the Gilded Unicorns. There is something kind of nostalgic about it. You see it kind of off in the wings. Arcanus is nowhere to be found. He's somewhere inside the audience. You see kind of specifically where everybody is. You see Alec and Theo up in the balcony. Nettie is kind of briefly looking down the stairs for a moment and kind of brings her head back up as Uncle Ali now comes up the stairs. The stage is yours, my friend. What does this performance look like?
As I'm approaching, I want to take a second to, just honor my, take a second of remembrance for my old troop. Say maybe a little prayer under my breath for them.
Because they are no longer with us.
No, they're not. They're gone. And I think I'll just, try and give myself some strength from their memory for what Roderick is assuming could go very poorly for him. And, yeah. Sorry, I'm trying to open my phone again so I can view my things. But yeah, after that, I will go up on the stage and I want to look around and see if I can find Blackwood anywhere specifically in the crowd.
Lady Seraphina Blackwood, yeah, go ahead and make a read roll for me. Or you tell me what roll you want.
Read. Read for sure. I got a 6.
Okay. She's up on the balcony. Not 15 feet away from Theo and Alec, who are kind of standing side by side.
Bump. How easily can I get to the balcony from the, I'm assuming, stage?
Baby, it's your show. You want to do some crowd work? You do some crowd work.
I want to do some crowd work, but if she's up
Yeah,
the balcony, that makes it,
You can start
It's a little
your performance. You can start your performance wherever you want to. You are the magician. Well, the second
not the
magician.
Yeah. Let's see. Okay. Well, I will go out on the stage and tell everyone, everyone's chittering, chattering, all that stuff. So I will get everyone's attention and say, "Welcome, welcome! Thank you all for attending my performance today on the Conqueror of the Clouds."
And as you say that, all of the lights in the room dim. And I'll say with that 6, you finally spot Arcanus in the back, and he's kind of holding up his wrist, and there's a golden band around his wrist that just barely catches the light. And he just gives you a gentle little nod. There is now a spotlight dead on you from you have no idea where.
Okay. As I'm sure most of you know, I am Roderick Periwinkle, renowned magician, but today I am not the star of the show. I will just be warming you all up for our main performer, Dr. Arcanus.
I love Periwinkle! There's a soused guy in the back who just loses his shit and then is promptly escorted out of the ball. What do you need? By the periphery.
I will start making my way to Arcanus as I am saying all this, walking to him.
Okay.
Because I'm going to do some crowd
As you,
work.
it's like as you kind of step into the crowd, the people around you just kind of generally give you space to make sure that everybody can still see you.
And as I get up to him, I want to do our little shared in common trick of pulling the flowers out again for him.
Love it. Would you say this one is in fact a periwinkle?
Yeah, sure. That sounds good, actually.
Okay.
And as I am producing them for him, I want to slip in the letter I wrote to him into the bouquet of them.
Okay.
To hand to him.
Okay. He readily accepts it and just goes, "Oh, you're too kind. Thank you for recognizing, the magic that we're bringing to the evening."
Of
And there's
course.
like some soft tittering and some like golf claps all around. People are eating this shit up.
After all, this wouldn't be possible without you. And I will start making my way back to the stage. And as I'm walking, I will say, "Now for my first trick, we're going to start with something all of you have seen before, everyone is familiar with. We're going to," and I'll pull out my deck of cards. "We're going to pick a card." And I will. I have the smoke powder as one of my things,
Okay.
my tools.
Okay.
So I would like to take my smoke powder and use it to my smoke bomb to cover myself up and then quickly hoof it up to where Blackwood is.
Okay. Go ahead and make a hide roll for me, and because of the use of the smoke powder, I'll give you an extra d6 for that.
Yeah, get it.
Nice, nice.
And say, you go ahead.
Okay. We got a 5.
Okay. As you throw the smoke powder down, it's like Arcanus and you are kind of like doing this together, and he actually does a flick of his wrist, and all of the lights in the room go off. So as you start to hoof it up, you very easily, and the first thing that happens, spotlight directly on you, standing next to Seraphina Blackwood.
Lady Blackwood, would you care to be my involved guest for this trick? And I'll hold the cards out to her.
Make a sway roll for me.
Damn it. Why do I sway people? I already know it's 2. I got 6.
Oh, well, darling, I'll be more than happy to play with a little bit of parlor tricks.
I love her.
She's ready.
Okay, so she can take a card from me then. And,
Takes the card.
now make sure you keep that in your memory. We're going to need it later.
She'll do like a little peek. All right. Do I get to keep the card?
Oh, no. I can't have you hold on to that. Go ahead and place it back in the deck, and I'll even let you mix them up yourself to know I'm not cheating or anything of the sort.
She'll go ahead and just slide it right back in.
Okay. I will, this time, no smoke powder. I will make my way back down to the stage, hoping that the spotlight stays on me, and I'll shuffle my cards along with it while I'm doing that.
This thing is glued to you.
Okay. And then when I get back up, I will say, now everyone, just hold on. We will get back to this trick in a moment. Let's save it for now. And I would like to honor our lovely floor magician we had, showing you all some tricks, keeping you entertained before the big show tonight.
Another spotlight directly on him, dead center in the room.
And is this as he's being cornered by the periphery people?
It's like as the spotlight hits him, everybody kind of scatters out of the light naturally, partially because they're a little uncertain as to what this light does. Like, people are still a little freaked out by electricity, especially watching somebody who is just, like, mutilated downstairs in the weapons display. So they kind of like get out of the way inherently, and it's like he is dead set in the bullseye of it. And it's kind of at that moment that with like the darkness and everything that's been happening, you actually see a spattering of periphery guard inside the crowd.
Okay, oh, what's this? It looks like you might be in a bit of trouble there, sir. Probably because of your shitty axe you put on earlier. Let me go ahead and mix a few of those now. Go ahead.
Acts are great, thank you, is what he'll say kind of from the center.
Yes, like the wonderful separating thumb. Oh, very magnificent. I saw you do that one earlier. Very impressed.
Soft laughs throughout the entire audience.
Or, I think I saw you do this one. Oh, look, my fingers, they're locked together. Oh, how did I separate them? Magnificent. Oh, but yet,
People are losing this shit.
the star of your show, the classic, what have I got in my hat? And I'll pull out a stuffed bird and just throw it out into the...
Boom, 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 boom. Just kind of falls, and everyone is like softly applauding and laughing and tittering. They're like eating this shit up.
I'm going to, I'll set my hat down after that one. And would they have put out a table of some sort for my performance?
It's your show.
I get it. I will go down and I will take a table from someone in the front audience and bring it up on the stage.
Okay.
My apologies. I'll just be needing this for a moment. And I will pull out a glass of wine, or a bottle of wine, and this is all from my bag of tricks that I have prepared for the show. And I will pull out this cylinder and I will say, for my next trick, this is something I know none of you have seen before, so prepare to be astounded. I will set the bottle or the glass down on this table, and I take out the cylinder and I place it over it. And I say, take a bottle. And then I pull the cylinder back, and it's become just a drinking glass.
Oh.
I take a bottle, it becomes a glass. Where did it go? And I turn around, and the wine bottle is clenched between my butt cheeks. And I say, it's in my ass!
Go ahead and just make a general sway roll for me, and you can go ahead and add 2d6 for that.
I don't need to, I got double sixes on it.
Yeah.
Not only in this moment is everybody just so incredibly just rapt attention with you. You have everybody's attention so much, each of you gets a free action in this moment to do whatever you want. This is something that you guys have seen Roderick do before, and he's like, I'm pulling focus, baby.
So I have a question.
Yeah.
Last I'd seen Dr. Arcanus was at the bar with Alistair.
Yes.
So I assume he would have had to walk up the stairs past me to then start the performance?
Took the elevator.
Oh, he took the elevator.
Motherfucker
Gotcha.
doesn't use stairs unless he absolutely has to.
I figured. I would have liked to gone down to Dr. Alistair at that point, and I don't know if they had any other words, but I will definitely be questioning the one sentence that I heard.
Okay. That was what you caught, and then it was like everybody was coming upstairs because they were told. It's like you got distracted by hubbub. So what would you like to ask him?
Well, I would like to see. I think I'd like to do maybe another read roll or a focus roll to see how he. Like, what are his mannerisms currently after this little exchange had happened?
Sure. You tell me what you want to use and what you're looking for specifically.
I think for this one, I'll use focus.
Okay.
Because I'm thinking more of like, I'm going to be like really taking point of what he's doing and like looking for his tells to see,
Yeah.
Is he hiding information? What do we really think?
Make the roll with an extra d6 because Roderick is just pulling everybody's shit right now, including Arcanus.
Whew. Oh, whew.
Trying to drive.
Oh no.
Okay, does the filled in triangle mean I have the resistance?
Yes.
Damn it, I've used the resistance.
Oh.
What is the drive? I get to re-roll.
No, a drive is a dice that you would have added to the roll.
It's too late.
Too late for that. Well, that's a 3 on the gilded and all the other dice that I rolled, so.
He is just like, he is so, it's not that you're not getting information about him, but he is so taken with Roderick that that's all you're picking up from him. That he, and that he does kind of clock your approach and just give you a very gentle nod as he returns back to the space. And Roderick's wine bottle between the ass cheeks.
I think I'll reach in. Dr. Carcosa.
Dr. Carcosa or Canis?
Dr. Carcosa. Dr. Carcosa at the bar.
Oh, I thought you were doing... I'm so sorry. I thought you were saying Arcanus.
No.
Still very much enraptured. Similar pattern, similar everything. In fact, eerily similar. Other than that, kind of hard to read. It's just like kind of like, I'll say the difference being he just kind of waves you over.
Say, Dr. Carcosa, it has not escaped my attention that Dr. Arcanus was over here. It seemed to be in a very familiar way.
So very quickly, that exchange happened downstairs. Everybody's now on the first floor of the ballroom. Does that make sense? So everybody's in the space together. So he's just kind of like leaning up against a wall. But continue.
So he would have come up the stairs maybe for me, so I wouldn't have gone down. Okay.
Correct. Yep. So you're all still in the main room. It's like you're leaning up against a wall and whispering to him, essentially. Can you repeat the question? I'm so sorry.
Dr. Carcosa, has not escaped my attention. Your interaction with Dr. Arcanus just now seemed to be quite familiar, and I overheard a rather personal question, I do believe.
Make a sway roll for me.
Fuck.
And please remember the items you have on your body.
Gonna burn a drive.
Use your necklace.
I'm saying there's a necklace that you have that could help you.
Yeah, that's right. Thanks. Yeah, use the thing.
Thanks.
Gentle reminders.
Plus.
Roderick and I are just silent conversations the whole time. It's fine.
Ooh.
Look, hey Theo, check out this.
Now I want to know.
Give
I'm
me
gonna
what you're doing in this moment.
take the bleed to get the 2 extra dice. Please don't hate me. Please don't hate me. Please don't.
Okay, so we're up in the second floor balcony.
Yep.
And Roderick I'm kind of backtracking a little bit. Roderick came upstairs.
Yep.
We now know that Blackwood is probably 15, 20 feet around where we are.
If that, yeah.
Okay.
Okay.
I
just hold on to those thoughts because I want to just be prepared for what you're doing next. Nettie, what did you get?
5.
Okay. Because you activated the necklace, this is more of an absent-minded response than it is a directed response. He's like kind of taken in and just something slips. And he goes, "Oh, yes, I'm actually quite familiar with his work. He asked if I brought the girls," and then he catches himself, and then he looks directly at you, and he looks down at the necklace, and he looks right back towards the stage, and just kind of crosses his arms.
Does he turn a few shades of white? Like a blood ring?
It's very dark, so it's hard to tell. But you watch him get a little rigid.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, Alec, what do you do?
So I think we'll kind of backtrack a little bit towards where Roger can come upstairs. Is
Yes.
kind of where this, in my brain, where this would happen. I think while this performance has happened, I think that Theo may actually feel Alec kind of put his hand on top of hers, give it a couple good squeezes, and then he's going to finish the drink. After the performance and all this stuff like that, he's going to say, "Wish me luck," and he's going to go over to where is I forgot his name. The Foreign Affairs.
Sebastian Thorne.
Oh, thank you. Where's Sebastian Thorne?
You don't see him. You can presume with that, he's probably beneath the balcony.
Okay, so then I'm going to move over towards, was it Blackwood. I'm going to get a drink because they're near the bar.
Yep.
And I am going to belligerently act really drunk and spill my drink all over her and act really sloppy to get myself, I guess, taken down to the drunk tank. See
Okay.
what happens.
Make a sway roll for me.
I don't wanna. Roll high.
5.
Okay. You do the drink successful. You are kind of tipsy already, but you definitely spill the drink over her. And she's like, "Oh, darling, why are you so messy?" And she kind of gestures over to one of the periphery and just kind of like points at you.
My apologies, ma'am. You sure look nice.
Yes. Officers, this ruffian just happened to spill a drink all over my décolletage.
She got
Take
right
them
out of
stairs.
my way. I couldn't help it.
Not only do they get you, because this is a success,
Yeah.
you feel a familiar click, click, as your hands are now cuffed behind your back.
Okay.
No.
And you are being kind of... Roderick, you see this coming down the stairs. Your friend, Alec, who had saved his action to help you, is now heading downstairs. We're going to come back to that here in a second. What do? Theo, you see this happen.
God. The initial response that I have is that Theo makes her way not quickly enough to like cause people to like look at her to go down the stairs, but to like go down the stairs and basically like as she can slip into the back closet area and like make her way down the stairs to the bottom. That's
Okay.
what Theo's thinking.
Okay, make a hide roll for me.
Oh God. Okay.
You got this.
Can I have an extra D6? Because a lot of people are distracted.
Can I give the drive to her?
While a lot of people are distracted, when you get down to the level, this is a pretty high stakes roll. There's still periphery guard around. So they're not this is not impossible, but this is like you're gonna have to snag something that kind of like makes you look like a server in order to get to the staircase.
Can I look around for Sebastian? And if I see him as they're hauling me away, start a ruckus because I got something.
Make a read.
Damn it. Dice.
Oh God. Yeah, you're good at that. It's fine.
Unless you can think of a different skill that you would use.
4.
You do clock him, and you start to take a step forward, but they firmly have a grasp on your haircut. Like you'd have to like really fight to kind of get away. There are two periphery guards.
Then I'm gonna play into the drunk and just start yelling, Sebastian! Where are you? And just start getting worse.
Wow.
Roderick, you kind of see this unfolding as people are now. There's a drunk dude, your friend, in the back, screaming for the director of foreign affairs, and everybody is kind of like looking around and a little distracted and
I
kind
don't
of
know
looking.
who Sebastian is, but please get this man away from the stage.
I'll give you an extra D6 to your hide roll.
Okay.
Good. Okay, good.
Okay, here we go. Come on. Please don't fail me. Actually, you know what? No. Right now, I am gonna take that extra D6 that is gilded as well.
Okay.
So I'm gonna take the extra die, and I'm also gonna take a gilded.
Okay.
Okay, come on, don't fail me. Please don't fail me now, I swear to God. That one didn't make it in, it's fine. I got a 5.
Okay.
So I'll take it.
You managed to, like, on your way down, you managed to just grab, like, a napkin and a tray as you kind of just swiftly make your way down the stairs. Okay. You make it successfully to the little kind of closet ticket check area. There is a periphery guard standing there who does let you through. There is a ticket check and like kind of a coat check set up inside this room, and like a little door, like closet thing that you were told somebody walked into earlier. And you proceed to walk over to it, and you do step out onto a set of steps that are surrounded in a glass case. And inside of that glass case, you see about 4 masks that look very familiar, like gas masks. What do you do?
The puppy is concerned.
The puppy is very concerned.
The puppy is very concerned. The puppy and I are both very concerned. Like masks just like hanging on the wall?
Yeah. Mm-hmm. And when you are like inside of this like glass case, you can now see into the massive void of the inside that you saw from the elevator before.
Yeah.
And you see coming down the elevator your dear friend,
Yep.
Alec, with 2
Great.
periphery guard.
So what I'm gonna do is I have a little tray, napkin, some shit, whatever. We're gonna be like, great, cool. Theo, not knowing what is out there, but knowing that there's some sort of like lightning shit that's there because of the last time, is gonna take one of the masks and immediately put them on.
Okay.
Because she's not gonna take any chances.
Mm-hmm.
Great. So she's not gonna take chances.
Okay.
Lovely.
And
she's gonna grab the rest.
All of them.
Yes, she's gonna grab the 4. She's gonna grab the other 3 and put it and be like napkin over it. Done.
Okay. Because you're taking so many, I need you to mark a gear slot off of your inventory.
Okay. I'll take it. That's worth it.
Okay. And you begin to now make the 100-foot descent by foot on stairs to the lower level gondola.
Yep.
Descending down into the void, only briefly lit by lamps every floor of the same worms that frosted, so you can't see inside of them. And you see the familiar kind of catwalk. The air is cold.
Thank God for the masks.
We are cutting back to Roderick. You've watched 2 of your friends fuck right off. Nettie, Allie are in the back. What do you do?
The show must go on. So,
It's just what they call a pivot. You just pivot.
yeah,
It's okay.
it's all right. You know, plans are meant to be changed and stuff. It happens. Well, everyone, we are now approaching the halfway mark of my show, so I think we'll change it up a bit. I've already brought attention to Lady Blackwood, one of our esteemed guests of the evening. Now I'd like to bring your attention to another one of our guests, Ambassador Nicodemus from Otherwhere. And I knew where he was from earlier when I...
Spotlight on both of them, on either side.
Nicodemus, you're a very special man, and so special that I've decided to write a poem for you tonight.
Oh no.
Now, this is a bit out of my area of expertise, but I do want to remind everyone of Jester's privilege. It means, you know, you can't take anything I say too seriously or be too hurt about it. But anyways, here we go. Ambassador Nicodemus, while he's not the cleanest, does what he can to protect Otherwhere. Ambassador Nicodemus, a bit of an extremist, get on his bad side no soul would dare. Ambassador Nicodemus needs a dental hygienist. While I shook his hand, his breath brought me despair. Ambassador Nicodemus has a tiny penis. Well, that's what the brothels do declare.
I have to ask. What are you attempting to do with this poem?
So we had said in the last session that we had decided that to rile up the people that we thought were up to no good and try to get them to play their hand would be the best move. So that is my whole purpose. Currently, I'm just trying to get him a little fired up.
Okay.
That's why I've progressed to. Oh, he's a good guy, protecting his people. To
What ability? Fuck it.
Swing sway. Sway would be 100%.
Every once in a while in a game, something happens that a player does that is so thought out, so perfect, and so unexpected.
Awesome.
That it just happens. And you watch a man over the course of the evening who has been a big personality. He goes to everybody. He kind of like, you know, not only did you insult his dick size, You have thoroughly humiliated him in a very public setting. Everybody kind of steps away from him, like snickering at him. This is not like the gentle laughter or kind of the boisterous laughter you heard before. This is like derisive snickering. That people are not just him who's kind of pissed off by this. Whatever allies he'd sort of made in this moment are now stepping away from him.
Good move.
Beautiful.
Now,
Good fucking choice.
Nicodemus, I assure you, I have more in the show that you will truly love, so please don't go anywhere. Again, Jester's privilege, all in good fun. Let's get back to the...
Says fucking nothing. He just sips on his martini and just watches.
Let's get back to our other guest, who I left with the oldest trick in the book, the card trick. Miss Blackwood. You know, Blackwood,
Cleaning herself up.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Cleaning herself up.
she's like patting everything down. Spotlight.
Someone of such power and wealth and esteem as yourself, I'm surprised you don't own an airship like this. Although, of course, there is only one in existence.
And she kind of passes down, and she goes, I own 3, thank you very much, darling. And she just kind of like shouts that down from the balcony.
But none of them are the conqueror of the clouds. That's all right.
Are you still up there, Theo?
Oh.
Oh, no, you're down, you're heading down. Okay,
Theo's
never
in
mind.
the stairwell is like
Okay.
moving as quick as she can down.
Never mind. Okay, continue.
Of course, we have Dr. Arcanis to thank for this beautiful masterpiece. I digress.
Soft applause across.
It's time I did my trick and found your card. And I'll pull out my deck of cards and I'll be shuffling through them, you know, doing some little flourishes to look fancy. How strange. I don't see your card anywhere in here. Are you sure you placed it back into the deck?
And you hear Nicodemus, it is probably in your ass.
And I will turn around
God, please be
and I will bend over and check. No, oh, I know where it is. It's in my hat. And I will
Gasps
I will
across.
pull the card out and I will reveal that it is the card that she drew.
Okay. What card was it?
3 of diamonds.
Love it.
I don't know, just that was what was in my head.
Love it.
What's this? There's something stuck to the back of your card. Oh, this card doesn't belong to you. This belongs to Nicodemus.
Oh god.
I'm just waiting for
Oh
it,
my
man.
god. Oh my god.
It's strange that you would have a card for Nicodemus, isn't it? I wonder what this says. And I'll have to have you tell me what it says, because Roderick has not read what's on this card up to this point. I just know it is a secret message for Nicodemus.
That's right. I was waiting for it, man. You broke it.
That was a bold move. That was a bold move.
Hey, that's what we planned
You had
on.
so much time to get the information of what was on that card, and the fact that you're like,
Nope.
nah, you gotta read
fuck
this
it.
out loud and tell us what this fucking says.
Oh my god.
God.
Thank you for playing Candela Obscura.
We have so greatly enjoyed your patronage.
The card says, and I'm gonna tell you what it says, and you are gonna choose to read it out loud or not.
Oh, that's the plan, because I fully planned on bullshitting my way if I needed to.
Okay.
So,
The card says, Hargrave is in. The deal is done. Watch out for the descent.
Oof.
I'm going to choose to read out just the first couple parts. I don't want to incite panic into everyone, so I don't think I'm going to say the watch out for the descent part.
Okay. Go ahead and make a just general sway roll, and If you're left, Nettie, I need you to make a read or focus roll. Or survey roll. Excuse me, read or survey.
Gods have blessed me today. I got another 6.
Nice.
Okay.
Fuck yeah.
With a 4.
Okay. You catch the top of Hargrave's cap, booking it. He's not there anymore. He is no longer in the room. You've watched him descend the steps. You are no longer by the steps because you did leave to go see what else. So you don't know where he went.
Oh shit.
But motherfucker's gone. There's soft laughter kind of throughout the room. Nicodemus is white as a sheet. Just fucking white. Shadowhand is no longer in the room. You don't know when he got picked up. You don't know when it happened. There are a significant number of periphery guard missing from this room now. But several of them are kind of surrounding Nicodemus, kind of spattered inside the crowd.
Let's see what your card says, Nicodemus. Hargrave is in. The deal has been done. It's a bit odd that the airship captain, which has employed periphery guards from Hale to protect the airship, is making some sort of deal with the ambassador of Otherwhere.
I need somebody else at this table to make a sway roll for me. And so you understand the stakes. This is dictating Nicodemus's response. And I really don't care who makes the sway roll.
I'll do it. I roll like crap. What do I gotta roll?
I'm like, I got nothing on sway.
I could say, I
got this low
I
number
have
thing.
sway if I am one of the people that can roll it, but I didn't know if you were saying other than me.
No. This is dictating how Nicodemus responds, and kind of dictating the outcome of this interaction.
I mean, Theo rolls like shit on sway, so...
You want me to roll what I have in sway for him? Is what we're doing?
Whoever wants to roll, be it a good roll, whoever's got a good score, whoever's got a bad score.
4.
That's probably the best way you get. That way he doesn't do anything to it.
Right? Either way.
Obviously.
This is a bit embarrassing for my wife back home, but that guard was a brief exchange about our homoerotic relationship. He is in. The deal is done.
Of course, because nothing to do with these documents, and I'll pull out all of the my hat as well. This is so strange. I've got some documents regarding the nature of this airship. It seems Miss Blackwood, the captain, and yourself have all signed them. Just a sexual thing, of course.
All of the lights in the room go out.
Shit.
The spotlights, the lanterns, fucking everything in this room goes dark.
Can we potentially go back and you can fix your stuttering for a minute, maybe?
Two more lines of the poem to say, by the way.
Oh God, there's more, James.
If you want to say it in the darkness, baby, say it.
I will say them in the darkness. Don't worry, everyone. I'm sure it's just a technical issue. But I do have 2 more lines to finish for you. Ambassador Nicodemus.
Somebody in the back, cheer.
Yes.
Ambassador Nicodemus. We all should have seen this. Of his plots against Hale, we should have been aware. Ambassador Nicodemus, with bitch Blackwood, does scheme us. They seek to steal the Conqueror right out of the air.
Nice.
And I will book it. Since there is darkness, I'm booking it for that fucking vent that I saw near Arcanus' room.
There you go.
Like I said before, Every once in a while, somebody does something so perfect that there is no attempt at a roll. The world does not disagree with you. The puppies appear for stretches. You, without a problem, make it to the vent. This is ductwork inside of this conditioned space. You feel very soft, cool air that kind of permeates the space. And it does lead to, I'm going to fast forward through this bit a little bit. It does lead to a glass room that had 4 hooks upon the wall that are empty. And a staircase that leads to somewhere.
Emergency rooms.
Not one of the emergency rooms. It leads to a staircase that goes down inside an incredibly black void.
Okay.
Oh God, was Theo like on the stairs when all of the light? I thought it was just in the ballroom. He cut the lights to the whole ship.
No,
Just the ballroom. Just the ballroom.
Okay.
This is the first time that Roderick. This is the first time that Roderick has seen this. This cavernous. He's never seen this.
Yeah.
So there's a cool room that you are in, and you see a staircase with a lot of kind of flickering lights that are pulsing, and you catch a shadow about halfway down on this staircase, and just the top of the elevator kind of breaking down into the gondola itself. The lights come back on inside the ballroom. Nettie. You see the top.
Just leave me in here to clean up all your messes.
You see the top of Blackwood's hair kind of descending down the stairs, periphery guard on either side. Nicodemus is nowhere to be found. You see Arcanus now up on top of the stage going, "Well, my darlings, what a wonderful performance from Maestro Periwinkle. He even has a disappearing act." I'm not gonna just do the worst things to him later. Shall we get to the real show for the evening, friends? And this is where we're going to take a break.
Fucking hell, man.
Theo, you don't even touch the rails of the staircase because this metal is so cold. You are afraid it will be like licking a street lamp in the middle of winter. It is freezing inside the envelope of this blimp, and you are going as fast as you can. Your footsteps are kind of echoing in this cavernous space, only accented by the catwalk that's illuminated, leading to what you know to be the front of the ship, connecting to something on the other side. Which direction the energy is flowing, it's unclear because it's so sporadic, but it's definitely charged. Roderick, you arrive inside this glass room that mimics kind of what the elevator was doing. You see a shadow kind of catching some light, and then another shadow catching some light as something seems to be descending this staircase. You can't quite catch the figure. They're kind of covered in a mask. Roderick, what would you like to do in this
You
moment?
sit tower with a little kerchief folded over it in their
Yeah.
hands.
Yeah, and like a little kerchief.
I'm not going, I kind of want to go to the popcorn and just sit here and...
I think I would... I don't know. I'd be really hesitant because I don't know where any of these people went that are possibly out to get me. Can I try and do a focus to see if I can get a better idea of who this might be? Or if it's a guard or something?
Sure.
All right. I get 1, and it's gilded, so... I got a gilded 5.
Okay. You do firmly catch Theo's form. You've seen her take on, in your opinion, shoddy disguises before. And this is not, outside of that world.
I will send a message to her with our little link and be like, Theo, are you walking down a spooky set of stairs right now?
Yeah, I'm running down. What do you need?
I think I'm right behind you.
No.
I blew shit up with that performance, and I crawled through an air duct to get myself out of danger.
Theo is going to immediately stop on the stairs and is gonna stop, turn around, walk back up at least a few, and kind of lightly, and I say this very carefully, lightly toss one of the masks.
You're about halfway. You're about halfway down.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay. So you toss. No problem.
Just
I'm not
a
gonna
few
make you-
steps back up, and then
That's
she's
fine.
gonna just turn around and keep going. She's gonna be like, "If you feel so inclined." And feel like maybe you can make it. There's a mask on the stairs because she's like, I gotta go.
What do I need a mask for?
Because it's really cold down here. It's actually freezing. Do you remember that time when somebody, I'm not gonna name names, aka Jimmy, got their tongue stuck on a pole somewhere? Do you remember this?
I think I remember that.
Yeah, worse than that. Cold, okay? So,
I still don't know what a mask will do for that, but okay, I'll go get it. And I'll walk out and walk through the door that leads to this stairwell and try to go get this mask.
Okay.
For me.
Theo, as you start to descend down the staircase, you hear a second set of footsteps about a couple floors ahead of you, kind of now making their way down the staircase. Did you tell him about what floor you made it to? Or you tossed the mask onto?
yeah, I think so.
Okay. Theo, you start to break now down into the gondola. It's kind of not eerily quiet, but it is quiet nonetheless. That periphery guard is still standing by the door that leads kind of to where you had that surgery. You still hear some noise in the kitchen, but they're making desserts now, so There's not a lot of like yelling. It's more delicate work. We're going to cut back up to Roderick. As Roderick, you hear footsteps below you, and you kind of hear them continuing to make their way down. Do you fire a message back up to him, Theo?
Yeah.
And say like you've made it down into the gondola?
Yeah.
Okay.
I'll be like,
Roderick, as you arrive to the landing where she told you that she had left the mask, the air is very, very thin here. You're like panting by the time you make it to this landing. It is so thin. And you're in shape. You're a performer, you're lithe, there are two things that you notice. The first is when she tells you she's made it into the gondola, you still hear footsteps making their way down the stairs.
oh
And
God,
that mask that she said she left for you on that landing
is gone.
is not there.
You were fooled.
There's somebody else inside this staircase with you right now.
God fucking damn it.
Alec, we're going to come to you. You have been kind of shuttled through the periphery guard, arguing and fighting this entire time. You are making your way kind of beyond that initial door, kind of that led over to the crew's quarters. That periphery guard making an odd look that you, who are down here helping save a girl's life, are so soused that you are incoherent. You're being dragged, that you're fighting. And you hear, yeah, all right, we're taking him to the brig. And the periphery guard is like, the brig? Why are you taking... He's a renowned... And there's like a little bit of a back and forth before you're eventually let into that space. They don't take you to the crew's quarters. They don't take you to the emergency room, and they sure as shit don't take you to the cockpit.
Yeah.
They head to the room with the walls that seem to punch up through the ceiling.
Shit! No!
Nice.
Where that pressure was before.
Damn it.
Where that room that you felt pressing like needles into the back of your head, that you were going, there's no fucking way I would go into this room. That is where they're taking you.
Fuck.
This periphery guard takes a key out, unlocks the door, spins the wheel, and inside this room, kind of opening up, you see a room that's about 20 feet tall. It matches pretty much the size of the ballroom in height, but in width, it is not that large. It's about kind of 20 feet wide, right? So it's firmly a square.
Right.
Directly to your right, you see what appears to be kind of a locked-up jail cell with three figures in it. One of them is a drunk man going, I just wanted to see Periwinkle do the wine trick with a bottle up his ass. It's amazing, you guys. And they took me out before I could see it. And that's some... Yo, Bosun Tom, that's some fucking bullshit. And you immediately see Bosun Tom sitting there kind of on one of the... It's like a seat that has chains that have kind of been flipped down. He's just kind of sitting on it. There's a small bucket in the corner. And he's just like, yes, sir, I'll be sure to get you... No, can you... Alec, what? No, you can let me out. I'm just a bosun here. You don't have to. And the periphery guard is ignoring him. There's a figure that's kind of bound up in the back, similar handcuff situation. And you see Steve, unconscious, in the corner. But those are not what is the most surprising things in this room. Directly in front of you is a large, what appears to be kind of copper box. And there was a reason that you did not want to come into this room. You were unclear as to what that reason was. It didn't feel good. It was the one thing in this space that did not feel right. And pushing through this space is very similar to what it was like when you entered the Conqueror for the first time. Except where that felt like it was kind of like a pressure that you were pushing through, this feels like you are walking into a bed of nails. And I need you to make a roll for me in this moment
No.
of how you resist something trying to get in.
No.
Oh boy.
Don't forget, you have your special gilded die.
Oh yeah, we have our free guilty for our.
I know. How about using my sense? That's probably what I'm going to go with to try to prevent something from entering the space.
Okay. This might be the highest stakes roll of the game.
Shit, no.
Unconscious.
All right, so I'm going to use the freebie gilded that you gave, and I'm going to go ahead and spend a drive.
Okay. Before we continue, I would like for you to understand what will happen if you fail. You will take 1 bleed mark. No, excuse me. You will take 1 brain mark and 2 bleed. If you fail in any way.
So I need a 6.
God fucking damn.
You're not rolling enough dice.
Good.
2 6s.
And 2 1s. 2 6s and 2
Yeah,
1s.
the gilded. It's got a gilded 6 and a regular 6.
Holy hell.
So that's a question. Since he gets the critical success,
If I take
does he still get the gilded die? Does he still get the
Yes.
drive back?
right,
If it is a part of that 6 pairing, then he would get
Yes.
that drive back.
there you go,
Okay.
double 6s.
Nice.
I don't have a camera because it's being used. Take a photo.
Honestly, yeah, take a photo of that, because that's insane.
I can put it in with the video.
Yeah, there we go. That's...
Less glare.
The very first thing that happens, Alec,
Yep.
as you kind of forcibly press yourself into the space, so much so that the periphery guards also feel the resistance, but they think it's coming from you. Beads of sweat pouring down your faces. You are intentionally entering a dangerous space. The very first thing that doesn't just like enter your mind, it echoes in your mind. Like something clattering in a large cave. And the very first thing that you hear is...
No, don't put me in here. You can't put me in here. I'm really not drunk. I'm telling you, I'm not drunk. No.
Hey, all right. Get in the brig. We'll let you off when we land. And you are forcibly tossed into this space because of the critical success that you made. You don't notice one more thing, but you notice, because this is such a dangerous environment and you succeeded in such a supreme level, there are 2 other things that you notice. The first thing that you notice inside the porthole of this 15-foot tall cube that is taking up most of this space, right? Underneath the porthole, there appears to be what looks like a socket that one of those containers would fit into, and a little lever next to it. Okay. The second thing that you notice is a face that looks like it is petrified and melting. No eyeballs in the sockets, and they are just kind of staring through the porthole as it walks by. And you catch the glimpse. It is like hunched over, and it looks like it's kind of dragging itself, and it is carrying something on its back. It's 1, 2. The third thing you notice is as you're kind of tossed into the space, you're tossed in face down with your hands cuffed behind your back, and you land next to Steve. And as you kind of just naturally look over at him, one of the cuffs is bound incredibly tight, like too tight, and the tips of his fingers are melting off.
Steve?
Of Steve.
Holy balls. Okay.
Nettie.
No.
We're cutting to you.
I refuse my airtime. I secede my time back to...
The lights turn on as Arcanix is taking the stage. And he goes, thank you, friends. What a lovely performance by Master Periwinkle. It's a shame that our guests of honor have decided to step out for the evening, but you know what? We're still in for a treat, my dear companions, because ladies and gentlemen, and all of a sudden he flourishes with his wrist, the band kind of coming to the surface and revealing itself for but a moment, slipping back down. Tonight, I shall breach the veil between the worlds, calling forth the spirits of your dearly departed. Through the power of electricity and a sprinkle of arcane, I will bring them to you, if only for a fleeting moment. Carcosa is rigid next to you, as Arcanus is now kind of setting up everything on this stage. You have a moment.
Dr. Carcosa, I do believe that my compatriots are going to be needing me below decks, probably in approximately 2.5 minutes. So I will need you to be exceedingly quick and concise with my next question. What does... I don't even know if that's his real name, but... What does he want, or how does he know us girls, and who was he referring to? If in any way, shape, or form you have considered yourself my father, as you have been mentoring me these past years, you will tell me the truth right now, and I will call in my favor.
Silence.
Oh. No! Dad! No!
You are met with a... You have not seen coldness from Carcosa, even in moments of anger or frustration. It is like he is detached. So, if you're going to call in the favor, you call it in.
Fucking do it.
I'm doing it.
Fuck.
Old clinical precision.
Fuck.
This is disappointing, Dr. Carcosa, but as I said, I will use the favor. This is pertinent information.
He looks over at you and he has tears in his eyes at this point, knowing that you have broken down a wall of a secret he has been holding on to for probably your entire life. Well, I don't have much time, I guess. And he kind of looks back up at Arcanus. He was referring to Theo, you, and Sonia.
She'll kind of stutter. Sonia's here?
Aye.
Does Theo know?
No.
In what capacity is she aboard this ship?
How many questions do you want to ask? Because I believe you gave one favor. Would you like me to
Fine.
address the first one?
Understood. I will wait for the first answer before I presume with my follow-up questions. Carry on.
I am your uncle, that's true. And he kind of looks back up at the stage. That man's your father. And not just yours, but you and your sisters.
But Theo and Sonia had their family, the tea shop, all through childhood. I cannot possibly be related to them.
And he looks at you in this moment, and he will pause. And he goes, I'll give you this one for free. You had the university girl. You came with me. And he looks back up to the stage as Arcanus is now kind of gesturing for everybody to be quiet. As a hush falls over the room, he then dims the lights a little bit further with a little bit more flair than he did before. And he starts to, your father, a man who you now see is identical in cut and jib to the man sitting next to you, doing intricate patterns with his hands. And you've seen people do things like this before. This is not a trick. This man is reaching to something. He begins to pull implements off of the tables, and slowly throughout the space, underneath each one of the lamps, ghostly figures start to appear. And at first, people are scared. They are crying. They are afeared until a woman goes, Johnny, is that you? And runs over to a small boy who has a bandage wrapped across his face. They're hazy, they're indistinct, they're not communicating, but they are there. Memories almost half forgotten. Fathers weeping, mothers running over to the side, until finally he gestures above. And descending from the chandelier are more specters and figures. Two young men appear directly in the space that people begin to scatter. Timmy and Jimmy, brothers who had once walked the streets of New Fair with laughter in their hearts, in pranks that they would play. One is clean-shaven. His face is youthful and unmarred by the passage of years since you saw him last. And the other bears a full, thick beard, as if he had grown into the man he had never had a chance to become. There they stand, side by side, glancing around the whole room, looking for familiar faces, with eyes that shine with a light that are both tender and mournful. And they lock eyes with you, expecting to see all of you. Timmy just gives you a little wave. Jimmy gives you a little wink. And Timmy's hand reaches out and grasps the arm of his brother and kind of elbows him to the side, a gesture that you have seen them share in life, now repeated in this fleeting embrace from beyond the veil. Your eyes kind of dart around in this space, looking around, because in another corner, you catch sight of Sebastian Thorne standing there, horrified, as directly in front of him, a rather tall woman with a tight bun, two very simple curls, a large brocade across her chest, and a necklace not unfamiliar to the one that you actually have around your chest. Her eyes fixing on him with an intensity that speaks of emotions left unresolved. Her lips are curled into a faint, inscrutable smile that is slightly cruel. And Sebastian Thorne, for the first time, doesn't seem to have words. Other guests are whispering in shock and awe. Some are falling to their knees with hands outreaching to those they have lost, children, parents, lovers, each kind of flickering in these moments depending on the tether they still have to this world. And in this scene of eerie beauty tinged with a sorrow so profound, it seeps into the fabric of the air. These spirits are not illusions. They're echoes of the past, woven from the memories in this room and the grief of everybody on board who lost someone in the war. And in a moment, he flicks his hands and they vanish. There's an audible sigh of relief inside the space. And your father walks over to a table and picks up an orb. And kind of a little twinkle in his eye, he smiles. And we cut to Roderick on the platform.
Fucking hell!
Air is thin. You are panting heavily. You are cold. Though your backpack and all of the layers of clothing on you have on you provide you with some warmth. However, it feels like you are running out of oxygen, and if you exhaust yourself further, it is unknown whether you will make it to the doors or not before passing out. And some of that might have to do with what you're carrying and the weight that you carry.
I will. How far down? How far have I traveled so far?
You're about halfway down.
Okay. I would say I'm not ditching the parachute, even though I feel like you're trying to get me to ditch the parachute. It's not happening.
I just need to know, is that an internal thought that you are having as well? Because if it is, and that is being broadcast to Theo in any way, shape, or form, she will tell you to ditch the parachute because there are more down here.
I mean, I would say it's definitely an internal thought, but I don't know if it would be. I don't know that it would be something I'm telling to Theo.
Damn.
Yeah. As much as that sounds nice, I don't think
she literally would be like, leave it behind and just go. Like, we're fine.
Are you exchanging the information that you don't have the gas mask that she left behind?
I think I would exchange that information and tell her that I'm not sure I'm going to make it. There was no mask there. Very short. Just no mask, might not make it. And I think I will ditch my cape and any of my magician's tricks I still had on me, all the papers and stuff that I kept with me, not get rid of that parachute. And I will try and hone in on my magician's skills of holding my breath from any tricks I may have done in the past involving that. You know, maybe I tried to unlock myself from handcuffs while I was in a tank of water.
Fucker! Okay.
Yeah, get it!
And I'm just gonna try and use my knowledge and get it the rest of the way down there.
Okay. Yeah.
James is over our bullshit.
Fucking over your bullshit. You're so fucking over. You're never allowed to play a magician again. Okay.
I love this. Please only play magicians.
I need you to make a. I don't care which one it is. I need you to make a nerve roll.
A nerve roll.
I need you to make a nerve roll because this is physical. This is a physical action that you're doing. However, because you are tapping into your. Go ahead.
Go ahead.
No, you go ahead.
Oh, if you're saying I can use any nerve, then I will physically pump myself up. Like, you got this. You can do it. And I'll do strike to get myself in here.
And I'll say a part of that strike is also you kind of like bounding down these staircases, right? Because the intention of these rolls is that you are pushing beyond the natural limits of what a human can do. You are pushing beyond something that you are doing in this, that you would normally do in a moment like this. So you are leaping downstairs, you are taking things in, and you are quickly and rapidly descending these stairs. Because of your cleverness, I'm going to give you an extra d6 to the roll. Because you're using your magician's training.
Can Theo burn a nerve? And if she's technically in a scene with Roderick because they have a mental connection?
Absolutely. You would have to re-enter the stairs to help him. You would have to turn right back around and walk right back in.
We're good. We're good.
This is periwinkle.
Hey.
We're good.
It's good. Yeah, we got 6. 6.
Oh, thank God.
So as you start to make your way down the staircase, and Theo, you would have seen this as well, the catwalk does attach to the staircase, and it leads further into the darkness, and there is a clear path that you can walk on because the cables are strapped underneath the catwalk. The catwalk itself is not electrified, but it does leave, you can kind of see it in the distance as it kind of sparks down. It leads to some kind of door on the other side. But you are leaping your way down. And I will say, with that roll, you make it no problem. No damage, no anything. You pushed yourself past the limits. Theo, let me ask you this before we get to the bottom of the stairs, Roderick. What were you doing in this moment?
I had so many thoughts before everything that just happened. It's fine. Theo was going down the stairs and is trying to go find where they put the drunks.
Okay.
Thinking that that's a good place to start.
Okay. There's a periphery guard standing by that you met before that's standing by the door. The quiet kitchen is kind of next to you. The bellhop is now beginning to ascend in the elevator back up to the top.
Okay.
And so you just barely missed that. So you can assume that you just missed Alec.
Okay.
What would you like to do?
There's a periphery guard that's stationed down there, yes?
Yes, he's kind of by the door. He's like turning back around because he had just shut the door.
To the weird room, right?
You can't see the weird room. This is the door. There was like a door and then a hallway, and on either side there were the crew's quarters. Because remember, there was a password to get in.
Yes, I remember this because I took notes and Theo is good at remembering stuff. So I wrote it down word for word. I swear to God, if I don't get in, I'm gonna be mad, James. Theo, with her little tray of masks, is gonna lean in and whisper and is gonna be like, I have to pull this close to get the full effect of the whisper, so it's gonna be a little ASMR to anybody. We're just putting the trigger warning on there just for anybody that doesn't like it. It's just gonna lean in and be like, Arcanist is a shit. And then lean back and be like,
and what's your purpose down here, ma'am?
These masks are defective and need to be fixed immediately.
I need you to make a sway roll for me.
Fuck! God damn it. I hate everything.
And to understand, if there is a failure in any way, there is a consequence to this.
Even when she knew the password, though?
Even with the password? With the fucking password? Are you kidding me?
Extra dice because she knows the password?
You are a woman in a ball gown holding a tray with napkins.
There is a correction there. Theo is not in a ball gown. Theo is in a utilitarian outfit. Thank you. This includes pants.
That's correct.
Get it right.
Military officer.
Let's go.
He did see you before.
I can rectify.
Okay. I'll allow it. I'll allow a mixed success to get you beyond the door.
Great. I'm just so glad that you said that because I did roll a 4. I I'm really glad you said that. I did roll a 4.
I would like to make
Anyone
this.
watching, this is how you argue with your DM to get what you want.
Yeah. There is no more negotiation. Buddy on staff. There's no more negotiation this evening.
Oh God, no! James, listen, buddy, pal, you like me.
He opens up
We
the door.
can hang out.
He opens up the door.
Over here.
He opens up the door.
Okay.
And you do make your way through. As you hear that there are precious seconds bought for you, as the door starts to close and you hear a familiar voice behind you go, Soldier, I'll need you to go ahead and stop that lieutenant. She's out there spreading lies about me. As the voice of Captain Hargrave is now behind you.
Murder him! The betrayer!
As the door is closing, what would you like to do? And when I say precious seconds, I mean precious seconds. You have, as to reset the scene for you.
I know.
Wall that punches through the ceiling to your left. You've got the crew's quarters to your right. You've got the emergency room on the end where the parachutes are, and you've got the cockpit directly in front of you.
Do I remember there being a lock on the cockpit?
There's 1,000% a lock on the cockpit.
Well, that's unfortunate.
Great. Because again, Theo is really good at remembering stuff. Given the fact that they are over the front lines, essentially, and we are not being fired at, Theo's going to go right for the cockpit right now,
Okay.
and is going to go against all of her other better judgment at this current moment in time. Is going to go straight for it and quickly lock it, and do whatever she can to bar that door and get them back to Hale.
Okay, let me, I want to make this very clear. You've got a cockpit door that is locked in front of you. You've got a periphery guard that's standing on another locked door behind you. To get through the cockpit in front of you, you would have to break into it. However, whatever that looks like, breaking the lock that's there, picking the lock, whatever that looks like. The door behind you also has a lock from it on this side, as well as like a bar that could go down to kind of like barricade, because this is intended very similar to like an airplane.
Why didn't you say that? Then we're just gonna put the bar on the door.
Ask.
Listen, I don't know what to ask. I'm not fucking violating Zayden and that shit. So we're just gonna do that.
This is an area intended to be locked down, right?
Great.
This is
So
the
then
area
we're
where
immediately-
everything precious is. Okay.
Great. So we're immediately gonna follow those protocols, and we're gonna go right to that.
Okay. So
Lock that shit down.
You lock the door behind you. What do you do next?
We're gonna quickly scan. What is around? Like, I know the doorways that are there. I know the emergency room, the cockpit, things like that. Is there
Nettie,
anything else?
Nettie, could you roll me any roll you want? And just give me what the success number is. Go ahead, keep going.
Oh no. I don't like that answer. Please make it a really good one. Please.
What are you
Otherwise
doing?
I might cry.
You have to pick a skill.
I'm not thinking about what Nettie is doing right now. Okay.
No, you don't have to pick skill now. You just gotta.
Theo immediately goes into lockdown mode. She's going into
Unless
this
we
is
do
survival. This is life or death. If I don't succeed, thousands of people are going to die. She has, and I'm gonna claim this now because I was thinking about this, she has a hand weapon on her, and I'm gonna say it's at least some kind of like somewhat kind of like a gun form of an object like that, right? If that's something that she might have.
What an object like a gun is in your
Listen, because I don't know what specifically we're going with or what Theo has had access to in terms of all of the...
You get to pick out what your hand weapon is. What would be a reasonable hand weapon in a situation like this?
You're
Blunderbuss.
military, so
Blunderbuss. You pull it out from one of your leg pantses.
Like if you're trying to conceal something, you could have like a small little 22 Derringer. Like, it's not gonna. I mean, you have to be really accurate to kill somebody, but it's very compact. Like,
No, I feel like I have a Derringer stuffed into my like medical
Maybe.
bag.
Yeah. No, that would track more for Nettie.
You want a Colt? You want a Colt 45?
I think you have a 1911.
Yeah.
You got a Colt.
Absolutely.
Colt 45.
Great. 100%. We're just
Okay.
going to mark that off real quick and be like Colt 45.
And
Nope, I already called it. That's in my gear. Gun.
Wow.
That is my hand weapon that I will take.
She's going to go into survival.
Okay.
The next thing she is going to do is she is going to... It's either the emergency room or the cockpit. But she has her weapon on her.
what are we doing?
Fuck.
Sorry, I'm not here.
Honestly,
I'm
yeah,
having my
you know
mind
what?
blown.
Fuck it. We're gonna try and go for the fucking door. Fuck it. Why not?
The cockpit, and you're going to shoot the
Yeah.
cockpit door.
I don't know that I'm gonna shoot the cockpit door. I was just making a statement that she definitely has this kind of a weapon on her.
Okay.
That was more of a side note of like hey, be ready for when it does become absolutely necessary. She's gonna use that shit.
Amazing.
We're gonna go for the fucking door, because why not? Okay. Sure. Can I gotta fucking break it somehow. What would you suggest for breaking into the cockpit?
Strike. If you're just trying to break the door.
Great. Great. We're gonna go for strike.
And what are you hitting it with?
It's a metal door.
It is like a steel door with a big old crank on it and a little key hole. And a porthole, remember you saw through it on the other side. And you do see somebody standing
How?
at the wheel on the inside. Right? This ship was not
How?
unpiloted.
Good knock on it. Room service.
housekeeping.
How thick is the porthole?
It is a double.
I'm on my way.
Listen, this is a valid question. I have to do brain math right now.
It's a double paned window. And keep in mind, this is an area that was designed to be locked down.
Locked down.
Remember when I said precious seconds?
Precious seconds. I am aware of the fact that you said precious seconds. Okay, me as a player is very nervous for Theo and is trying to be in a battle mindset of the shit that she's seen. Okay. Precious seconds, and I'm using this as an excuse right now to be like precious seconds that she has had. Wait, hold on. I have to ask a question because now my brain is... I'm so sorry. There's a porthole behind me through the door that has
Something else. No, the door behind you has no window. It's the door to the
Great.
cockpit that has a window.
Great, that's what I need to know. So instead, we are going to go into the emergency room. We're going to find what supplies and shit are there. I'm going to see if there's a spot. Maybe I can fucking hide.
I need one person to roll an ability for me. Actually, fuck it. I need one person to roll a control for me.
No.
I don't think my control's too hot, so...
What are we doing?
Control.
Control?
Yeah, roll a control. Alright, 6.
Damn it.
She rolled a 6. on the
You
control.
hear, as you're making this decision, you hear 2 gunshots behind you.
Fuck.
Alec, we're going to cut to you. This is what happens when you don't make a decision. Things happen.
I'm trying.
Alec, you are sitting inside the space, something clicking in your head. Steve, clearly infected with a worm of some kind. You hear pop, pop, directly outside your space.
Okay.
Tom kind of like looks up at the door, and he's like, here, let me help you the fuck out of those. And he's gonna attempt to get you out of the handcuffs, which he successfully does. It takes him a second, but you are kind of now like unbound outside of the handcuffs. Your arms stiff because that was a rapid descent downstairs.
Here, let me add this. I'm going to select one of my items to be a lockpick that I would have learned or kept kind of tucked in my sleeve.
Oh, okay. Even better.
Roger, he would have said, "You want to keep something like this for an emergency." So I tell him as he's fumbling, in my sleeve, there's a pick. Use it.
All right. And he starts to kind of pick things away and undo the locks as he's like, all right. And he starts to walk over to Steve to undo his handcuffs now as well with the lockpicks.
Not yet.
Not yet. What do you mean, not yet?
No. And the only thing that's affected right now is his hand, very similar to.
It's like, yeah. And you kind of see the same familiar. It's very faint because there's not much nervous system that this worm has a hold of, but it is definitely there. And you kind of see it superheating the flesh and kind of rendering the fat of his hand. Very little fat because he's a very muscular man.
Yeah.
God bless America. There's a lock on the cell, right?
Yes.
Lock on the cell?
Yeah.
I tell Tom immediately, use the pick to unlock the cell.
I'm sorry, I don't actually really know how to do that. The handcuffs are simple locks, and he kind of extends the lockpick to you.
Okay. I'm going to go over and attempt to try this.
Okay, this is firmly a control roll.
Fuck.
Yeah, this is so horribly.
Please, for the love of God.
5.
Okay. Mixed success and very, very, very high stakes. As you start to unpick the lock, you do firmly hear a kind of click as the door, just gently, he's like, man, you Candela folks are something else. As something sparks next to you on top of the copper box. And ever so faintly, something slips into your mind. All those thoughts you were having about being a conduit before, about being something as a space for you to enter people, and now things are transferring through you. Something is trying to get to you. And you see just on the inside of the porthole glass of this copper giant box, a hairline fracture. There is not much time that you can spend in this room.
Okay, I tell Tom to get Steve and go, get out.
Well, give me the lockpicks back. I gotta get the handcuffs.
Leave the cuffs on him for now. It's fine.
What?
It's fine. We don't have time. Please do what I say.
Okay, he scoops up Steve and tosses him over his shoulder. Tom is now burdened. He will be slow. Steve is a big guy. What the fuck? Are we going somewhere to party? And the drunk guy inside the room stands up. I want to go see my show, Periwinkle. And he is standing up and attempting to walk over to the door. What the fuck is this box? And he starts to walk over to look at what the inside of the box.
Grab him like a small child and direct him this way. Grab his head and turn it this way.
Okay, make a sway roll for me. Or sway, control, strike, kind of whatever you're doing to get this man to stop. This very belligerent, drunk man.
Okay. I guess it's either one. I don't know.
Flavor for you. Oh, God.
2.
No.
Oh, God.
As you're kind of wrestling this man, he does slip and fall, and his head firmly cracks against the porthole glass of whatever is on the inside of the steel box. You watch it kind of shudder on the inside, make like sick sucking sound. As the man is now firmly knocked out, blood is smearing along the pane of the glass, and what was hairline on the outside is now definitively cracked. And ever so slowly, you watch as the blood starts to recede inside the box.
Shit.
Well, I'm gonna start getting this man. I'm gonna start dragging this man out.
Okay. That door is locked. that leads into this containment room. And it is locked from the outside.
God. Damn it.
So you're in a locked cage inside of a locked room as well.
Yeah. Okay. There's no way to disengage because the lock is on the outside and there's no way out.
Mm-hmm.
Does it have a port? Does it have a porthole outlook out? Was there a window or is it
This
solid?
solid door.
Okay.
Arcanus did not want anybody to see inside this room.
Yep.
As you look around the space, there is a massive, almost like garage door on the back side of this room. Because how else did they get it in? How else did they get it inside this gondola?
Oh my god. Okay. Get up, move around and examine that door. Is there like a lever or something that opens it?
There's a padlock on the bottom. There's kind of bolted down on either side. It's pretty secure for what it is, but it is, in fact, you kind of see the tracks that raise over it. There appears to be some sort of mechanism on the underside of it, just on the outside of the door. Can't really see what that is because the door is closed. Can somebody make a control roll for me?
5.
You hear another set of shots outside.
Okay, let's get
Nettie, we are going to go back up to the ballroom. You've just seen Timmy and Jimmy. That smirk of your father on the stage as he pulls out this new object. A little circular orb that he has. He then proceeds to kind of gesture. The band on his wrist, you now see that there are two. There's one on his right, there's one on his left. Arcanus is rigid and firm in what he's doing, but he is looking around, and he's calculating what looks like exits at this point. As he raises one of these glowing orbs, there's a light that kind of pulses a very faint blue from it. And he speaks words in a language that you can only assume come from Old Fair.
Can I just
His
shoot him?
voice... I mean, if you want to.
Do you think that she would really do that, though?
Well, I mean, he's like
Is
muttering.
this Ashley talking, or is this... Come on.
Do you want me to...
Uncalculated doctor just is like,
Yeah. Goodbye.
As he finishes this kind of cadence, images seem to split off of him into multiple copies across the room, approaching to guests. They are immaterial, but they are present. You can feel them. One of the projections begins to approach you and kind of take you in for a moment, and it's a face, a mask of sorrow and understanding. There's almost a compassion to it.
If it gets within 5 feet of me, I am taking a step back towards
Yeah.
those stairs.
It does.
As it keeps,
It does approach you, but the eyes seem to peer beyond you. You kind of feel like a scratching in your head. I need you to make any sort of brain roll for me, or intuition roll for me.
I will.
Any of the intuitions.
Well, we're gonna focus.
And this is a medium to high stakes roll, so there are consequences unless you
We'll
get
use
a
a try.
success.
I'll make you say this.
I'm waiting for Roger to show up. He got to the stairs. We're hanging on there.
Cool. 6.
Yeah.
Okay. You feel something scratching inside your head as memories and flashes start to cut through reality of your time on the battlefield. And that look of sorrow and understanding, that voice is now kind of whispering directly in your ear. And you hear, "Do you remember them, girlie? Those ones you couldn't save on the battlefield. Those faces that you held as they took their last breath. Was that worth it? Was that worth it to leave your family behind? You are going to take a brain mark. Even with the success, it would have been much, much worse. As the faces of the fallen soldiers, the ones that you so desperately fought to save, are now brought and flooding your mind, which is normally cold and calculating and dispassionate. Those emotions that you have been shoving away are now welling to the surface.
Now you can shoot him.
And they start to appear next to him in brief flashes. But there's a sense of compassion among all of this. Because now you're feeling what Alec feels. Now you understand why he doesn't touch you. Now you understand why he avoids people. Because this is pain you are not ready for. There are almost silent accusations from these faces that you could not save. But then faces started to show up. Surgical precision that saved many. The projection tilts its head of your father standing in front of you. I'm sorry, girl, but you were their last hope, and you let them go. And you feel a very firm hand next to you as Uncle Ali stands up and grabs your hand and goes, don't pay attention to the tricks, girl. Don't pay attention. As all of these images start phasing back to Arcanus. Some people are weeping in the room. Some people are laughing in the room. It is an odd experience of reality in this moment. As an object is now wheeled onto the stage and a screen seems to drop behind him. Roderick,
yeah, no, I want to go get the plasma gun.
The plasma.
Honestly.
Okay. You are choosing to leave this room.
Leaving this room and going to get the rubber gloves and the plasma gun, and I will shoot all of the horrifying visages that may appear.
Okay. Okay. I need you to mark off 2 gear slots for me, because both you have both the gloves and they were relatively unguarded with kind of how the periphery has been scattered thinly across the ship at this point. But I'll say that you do make your way down there and make your way back for the end of his performance. Roderick, you come down, and as you reach the bottom of the steps, kind of stepping into what feels like a decompression chamber, you hear directly on the other side of the door.
Is there a window or anything through this door?
No, it's a steel door.
Fuck it, I'm gonna bust in.
Okay. You see Captain Hargrave standing over the body of a periphery officer who is kind of like flinching back. He's got 2 wounds in his chest. He's Captain! And he's just standing over him. And he then looks back to you and starts to train his gun over to you.
No!
Pull it out of your ass now.
Okay. I have to ask a question.
It's not your turn, baby.
I am asking a question regardless. Does Roderick tell Theo that he made it down the steps?
Yeah, no, so I briefly mentioned that when you were doing your part last time. Yeah. That I did.
Great.
You do hear him chime in and say, hey, I made it, because he told you he might die or might not make it. So he did tell you, hey, I made it.
Yep. Okay.
I am going to use my final gear that I haven't used yet and get a hidden weapon of myself. I'm going to pull out one of the throwing knives that I would have used for some sort of thing before.
Okay. Go ahead and make this is probably a control or a strike. Depending
Definitely on strike.
Depending if it's reactionary or if it is focused. So if you're taking a moment...
Oh, no, we are just brute force. I'm just grabbing it and just chucking it at this man.
Amazing.
So,
okay, go ahead and make a strike roll for me.
And I'm going to burn my extra gilded now.
You got
I
it.
keep forgetting that.
I got all 4s.
Okay. Theo,
One was gilded.
you've heard 2 gunshots at this point. You now hear a second round of shots. What do you do?
Theo's gonna open the fucking door.
Which one? There are many.
The one that she came in through. She's gonna open the fucking door with her gun trained.
Okay, the first thing that you see is a body that kind of like slumps in as the periphery guard's eyes glaze over. Directly standing in front of you, trained directly at Roderick, is Captain Hargrave, smoke coming off the end of his Colt 45. Roderick, I need you to take a body mark.
Yep.
As you have been shot. But because of what you did, it was your arm that was shot. It's not maimed, it's not anything. The other shot went wide. But it really fucking hurts.
Yeah.
And you watch as Captain Hargrave turns around. He has kind of in his shoulder, you see one of Roderick's throwing knives sitting there. What do you do in this moment?
So, I'm gonna fucking pull it out. I'm gonna pull it out because I don't want to fucking deal with this right now, and I need an automatic success. Theo is going to see the scene that has happened in front of her.
Okay.
And is immediately pulled back to a memory of being on the front lines with Tim and Jim, with Nettie being back at the hospital, being ready to kind of like help the battalion, things like that.
Okay.
Is immediately pulled back to a memory that Jim saved her from. And is in her resolve is going to fix her gun on the captain and is going to shoot him with an automatic success for not again. Because that not again is she is in her resolve that she is not going to lose another member of her party. So she is going to shoot him and kill him outright.
Okay.
That is badass.
Nice.
That is badass.
Hargrave then, seeing this measly magician who just outed him upstairs, he can deal with him in a second. He just has he brought a knife to a gunfight. As he begins to wheel his weapon around to you, I want you to tell me what that looks like.
I'm just a distraction.
Theo
That's all.
immediately goes cold.
Fantastic distraction.
She immediately goes cold. She
Okay.
stares him dead in the eyes and shoots him, like, is literally trained directly on his head and is going to take 2 shots. And the second they hit, she hesitates because she needs to see him fall down. So she's literally watching and takes this moment and is waiting for that reaction to see his entire life hit and fall in front of his face until he is now on the ground in front of her.
You are so close that not only do you see this happen, he doesn't have a face anymore. I mean, you have totally blown this thing inside. The features that once held a battle-trained captain that would have fought alongside you, that for reasons unknown had made a deal to hand a weapon of disastrous proportions over to the enemy. and you are standing there firmly over his body as the kitchen door opens. And you hear, Theo, what the fuck did you do?
Please, not
As
now.
Sonia steps out.
Oh my god.
We're going to cut back upstairs. As Nettie... Did we lose?
Dropped.
Yeah.
That's all right. That's all right. She'll come back in. It was a perfect place to drop. Nettie, you start to ascend the stairs in your ball gown, silk gloves, now covered by rubber gloves. As you walk up to a projection of a bike on a screen coming from a box that is projecting this image onto it. It's odd, but directly on the outside of the box, you see what appears to be this container, this light that has been kind of all over. As your father, Dr. Arcanus, Charles Carcosa, Chaz, to his brother. Behold! A marvel of modern ingenuity. A projector capable of capturing the very essence of motion itself. But as the images play out, something begins to go wrong. The glass container sparks momentarily, reacting to the heat generated by the projector itself. Light within the jar intensifies, growing brighter and more erratic, pulsing with frantic energy. As the soft glow from the glowworm that is supposed to be frozen inside is no longer stable. You have a moment to do something before this all falls apart.
I am immediately training the gun on the glowworm.
This big
Plasma gun, electric gun, whatever it is.
weapon.
Yes.
Okay. Go ahead and make a control roll. Control or focus roll, because you are attempting to remember how this works. A focus roll has more disastrous effects. A control roll is more medium stakes.
This is your time to shine.
Well,
Get it,
I'm going
Nettie.
to do my gilded die from the thing.
Free gilded.
My free gilded, my other gilded, my normal one, my extra one from my little ability, and then I'm also going to burn a drive. And if the universe decides that this doesn't happen, and we all die. It's fine. I don't even want to look.
Oh no. God.
As you
Oh, God.
release this weapon, with surgical precision, you do hit the projector, as well as several of the audience members on their way to the stage. And you clip Arcanus as he goes flying back and rotates back. The projector itself starts to heat up faster and faster as you see that one of the gold bracelets has fallen off his wrist. Here is where the mixed success takes hold.
Yep.
Carcosa grabs you by the wrist just as the elevator ding hits the first floor and the door opens. And he pushes you inside as you watch the projector explode.
Oh boy.
As the elevator is shutting, you watch as something shoots through the air, the glass jar shattering with a sharp crack. It hits a woman in the first row, a woman that you obliterated for all intents and purposes. Took her shoulder out completely. Everybody starts screaming at this point as this woman starts convulsing violently. Her body is starting to twist and shape in incredibly grotesque ways. Her knees buckle backward, her elbows snap backward as she shifts and kind of rotates and is spurting blood from her arm that cauterizes and stops. and this thing looks directly above it and leaps up at the chandelier and grabs onto it with its one arm and starts like yanking as hard as it can down. And the last thing that you see as the elevator starts to descend to the gondola is Carcosa. Look at you and nod. And he takes off as the chandelier comes down. Alec, we're going to cut to you.
Okay, so I've examined this kind of garage door contraption.
Mm-hmm.
There's this huge creepy monster that could be the center of all the things inside here. The door to this room is locked from the outside.
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to panic, run to that door, and begin to beat on that door because I had initially, it just clicked in my head. I remember that I had told Theo good luck, thinking or hoping that she would find a way down here. So I'm going to try to make as much noise as I can beating on this door.
Okay. Okay. Theo, Roderick, dead Hargrave on the ground. Sonia, your sister, stepping out of the kitchen in a simple server's garb. Tight, her curly hair kind of pulled back into a bun. You start to hear banging on the door on the other side of the hallway behind you. What do you do?
Theo's gonna turn around and go to the door, and is gonna try and figure out, and can't put the rest of the pieces together right now. So it's gonna be like, great, I have to open this door.
Okay. You kind of punch through the door, and you see Alec standing there directly on the other side, fist raised, getting ready to pound again. You see Steve tossed over Tom's arm. You see a drunk dude on the ground bleeding profusely, and this giant copper box with a currently fracturing porthole, and something behind it going. You kind of hear this noise starting to echo inside this room. You have assembled 3/4 of your party.
I'm looting the body.
You're looting the body? Okay.
I think Roderick would go see if Hargrave has anything useful on him. He's the captain, so keys.
Well, he sure as fuck has a master key.
Like that, yeah.
He has a master key.
Okay.
I'll say, he's got a gun, he's got a master key, and that sort of stuff.
Can I swap my throwing knives that I took with me out for his gun?
I will, yeah, I'll allow that.
All right.
I will say you've got 2 shots left.
Okay.
You guys have the floor.
Well, immediately I'm going to, in my head space, essentially realize I'm so grateful and I'm happy that to see her, I'm going to run over and give her a huge hug. And then I'm going to say, we have to get the fuck out of here now. And I kind of look back towards this big, nasty thing that obviously we're beginning to hear.
Okay. I need you to make a sense roll for me.
It's really, do I have to?
Mm-hmm.
6 non-gilded.
You feel that same press as you kind of step through the space. Again, this veil. So whatever is happening, it happens almost exclusively inside this room as something is kind of latching out with you. I'll say with that 6, that veil is thinning. And I don't mean thinning in the very gentle, oh, it's getting a little bit weaker. I mean thinning as if there is a flare here that is about to punch through.
Large enough to take everybody out. Kind of.
Or let a shit ton of stuff in.
Okay.
Roderick, Theo, Alec, the floor is yours. What the fuck do we do?
Did you tell us that there's something going on in there? There's some creature or something?
Yeah,
okay.
We have to get the fuck out of here.
Well, maybe we should lock the door then that is leading to the room that it's in. Hopefully they have a secondary mode of containment for this thing.
Okay.
Yep.
Yeah.
And I will quickly make sure everybody's out, and I will push this door and begin to lock the door.
Okay. You get everybody out of the drunk dude. You bringing him out too?
Yeah.
Okay. So everybody's out of the room. You lock the door. You lock the door just as you feel like a slight, just ever so slightly tear. It's like a popping sound that you hear. Nettie, it's about this point that you are firmly in the elevator. As you pass down through the first floor, you catch glimpse of Carcosa kind of bolting down the stairs as fast as he and his cane can take him. Screams upstairs. You hear human screams. You hear screams that are like upstairs. You see disjointed bodies beginning to crawl down with unnatural speed. Flesh is melting. Things are shifting and breaking. Hair is dissolving off of these people or standing straight up. These are no longer humans. These are creatures from beyond, and they are fast. And if they are a hive mind, they are going crazy.
Are like the lanterns, like, what is causing all of the people to change? Like, are there more glowworms escaping, or is the first one somehow infecting the other ones, or is there been a rift that things are coming through?
This is the chandelier.
The chandelier.
Gotcha.
As you were going down, the chandelier fell.
Yep.
And they scattered.
And I would assume those ones are going to start breaking the other ones in the sconces and stuff.
Correct.
Free. So it's just a chain reaction
Right.
of freeing more of them.
What would you like to do, Nettie? The bellhop is freaking out. You know that a majority of your party is likely in the gondola. You know that Allie is somewhere on the first floor. And you know your father is somewhere else.
What did the other scientists tell me? I know that they're connected, but was it a... Like, would destroying the heart of the ship destroy all of the little cells of the worms in the ship? Or was it that they were a separate entity, like, made from them?
I want you to make a roll for me. A roll back to everything that you'd encountered, everything that you have seen, all of the pieces that have laid bare in front of you. You are alone in this moment, figuring this out. So none of your circle members can offer drive. None of your circle members can offer anything. But because of your intimate experience, you will get an extra d6 on this. So, however you would like to put this together.
Well, I guess I will go with focus to try to, like, remember all the interactions and all the questions and everything she had said and maybe not said.
Okay.
One, the extra d6. Extra d6. 5.
It's like a beautiful mind inside of this glass tube that you're in. You are sitting down, you're putting the pieces together, you're going, okay, what are the pieces of information that I have? That the doctor believed that these were genetic creations, so there must be something biological about them. You saw how this thing had riddled Mary's arm. It was almost like a termite. But the way it was doing things, it's like it was being informed. You saw the creature above for the first time. in action in its entirety. And worms by themselves don't inherently have that intelligence, right? They don't have what that would mean, and it is doing something to allow other allies, one might say, or other hive members free. Because what do bugs do the best? They infest. They get in. And there's usually some kind of queen.
With that coming to her, she will have decided that down below is probably where everything is, and that's probably where this equipment is most needed. She'll turn, kind of get up, dust herself off. Does this go any faster? Because I need to be down at the gondola probably about 10 seconds ago.
I'm sorry. What do you mean? Does this go any faster? It's got one speed, and that is up and down, ma'am. That is up and down. In that moment, you remember there's an emergency brake, which means there's likely a brake on this thing at some point that is slowing its speed and its descent. And oftentimes, gravity can make things go faster.
You showed me that. Because I was going to say, I was about to, really hate myself and, snap some wires up top. But no, I will take that break from when I had noticed where that little hinge was, and I will absolutely... Oh, well, does it have,
Okay, understand. You're on the first floor.
Yep, yep, totally understand. All of that,
okay.
Yep.
You're descending rapidly about 100 feet. And there is one person who will try to stop you. So in this moment, I need you to kind of make a couple of decisions. Okay. One, what are you willing to risk in yourself? What is an ideal outcome for you that's realistic? And how are you achieving it?
Actually, I have this plasma gun in my hand. And so with cold detachment, she will just turn it on him. I think we both know that emergency brake there can be taken off and we can plummet faster. We will probably take some bodily damage if we are very unlucky, possibly a couple broken bones, but we both should survive. However, you will not survive if I pull the trigger on this plasma gun.
Yes, get it. Fucking get it.
I love it so much.
Yes. God.
You can either die or maybe die.
You can either suffer a little bit of injury or you could, fucking get
I'm absolutely willing to suffer the bodily harm to get down there as quick as possible because these bugs from the other world are infecting things quicker than fast as possible, so... Cold clinical detachment, just...
Exactly.
Every once in a while, a player does something... There is, no...
This is how
this man is going to do this.
That he's going to be arrested for, murder and high treason.
I would like you to make a sway roll to see if he pisses himself or offers an alternate solution.
Please be himself. That's all I'm saying.
It's a mixed success, you might do both.
Alternate solution sounds nice, too.
Well,
so if it's filled in, I have or have not burned it? The resistance? I don't know. 5 is pretty good. We'll see. I'll go with the 5.
No, if it's blank, it's
okay.
Burned it.
Okay, so I could...
He definitely pisses himself. He goes, okay, I might be able to re-engage the emergency brake. Let's go! And he just yanks it. And you guys start to plummet rapidly to the guts of this ship. I would love for you to make it's really any sort of nerve roll.
My move and my control are kind of both the same, and I feel like it'd be a mix between the two,
Okay.
of kind of dodging around or finessing.
Even with a critical success,
Oh yeah.
you are taking damage.
I have a 1 die to roll at this, so, and no resistances and no drives in nerve whatsoever.
Okay,
But you guys might have a gun.
He's going to engage the break. It'll be fine.
It's fine. He knows what he's doing. Yeah. He's a trained professional.
They just giggle around for shit on Sundays.
Okay, if this is here's we're gonna lay on the severity of what happens. If this is a 1, you take 3 body mark. Period. There is no coming back from that. Not death. It just kind of like removes you from the next immediate scene. If this is a 2 or a 3, you will take 2 body marks. If this is a 4 or 5, you will take 2 body marks. If this is a critical success, you will take 1 body mark. I was gonna say if you get double 6s, you use the dude as a body shield.
I don't have a second die.
But you have a second die to roll. Okay. Let's literally roll the dice.
Just don't get a warrant.
Oh god. Oh god.
Hey.
Okay. Can you tell me how you brace yourself in this elevator as it plummets 100 feet?
I will say...
Hey, one correction. Made of glass, wasn't it?
Yep.
Okay.
I think it had hand railing.
It did.
Of some sort.
Yep.
So I will have kind of hooked an arm around that. So I'm probably assuming like at least a severely sprained, if not broken arm. And then I will try to kind of brace against the floor as well, like kind of at an angle.
Okay.
As well, she can. So I know that there will be counteracting forces between those two, but hopefully I will not be thrown of various ways.
Okay. As you are plummeting down this space, there are a couple things that happen in this moment. The first is you see creatures running down the staircase now, leaping, falling over, going as quickly as they can. The second thing that you see, and it's like one of those moments where you know what's going to happen. So you've detached yourself from everything else to take in important bits of information. The lights inside the elevator flicker out, as if power's been cut. So there is no danger of you being infected by a worm of some kind. The third and final realization that you see is those electric coils alongside the catwalk blink out. You hit the bottom. Please take your 2 body marks. Does that knock you out in any way? Do you take a scar in any way?
It does not, but I'm right there with Alex.
Okay.
Ooh, it's close.
Your arm is snapped. It's snapped. It's a clean break. It's a clean break. You can still use it. It's very painful. The bellhop was not so lucky. So not only is he in clothes that have been soiled, his neck is bent in a direction that is not normal. The rest of you hear a loud crash behind you. All of the lights inside the space powered down. And these emergency lights start pulsing everywhere. as what sounds like glass shattering, metal creaking, and coils snapping from the containment room just beyond. And you start to hear on the inside of that door. Behind you on the staircase, you hear and we're going to take a 5-minute bio break as everything around you is coming to a close. out of a shattered elevator, you see Nettie step out, her arm bent in a way that does not look natural, bloodied and bruised already, her hair a mess, donning rubber gloves and the giant kind of Tesla weapon just kind of slung on her back. Nettie, as you were stepping out into the space directly beyond this glass enclosure, you saw these creatures that I will now show you, since you guys have you got a brief moment to see this. I do in fact have a drawing of this. Just give me 1 second, let me find it. Here we go. You guys ready? You guys ready for this? I'll say this is the one that you see just directly beyond the door. And it is a rapid transformation. His hip is sticking out of its side. There are riddled holes and blisters. The worm itself is rattling in and out, leaping across the skin, shaping him around. The faces that you saw on the glowworm itself match the now melted face of this creature, a pipe sticking out of his chest, shooting electricity from it. This thing is fast, it is angry, and it is in pain. The four of you are together. Sonia is there. Oh my God! Nettie, what's wrong with... Come here, Nettie! And she attempts to start bandaging your arm.
No, leave it. It's fine. Do I know who would be the best shot? I assume Theo, but I just want to make sure.
Of the people that are left, probably Theo. Steve is unconscious and over a shoulder. Tom is there. Sonia is there. And I'll say those are the remaining people. The light is low, it is dim, it is pulsing emergent light, kind of just across like a heartbeat of the ship. There is not power directed to any of these rooms anymore, so any mechanical locks that were powered by electricity, any space inside the space, you will have to move. There is thumping and screeching coming from behind you over by the elevator. The large containment room, there is something punching up against it. What do we do?
Theo, hurry. I might lose consciousness soon. I think I might have a concussion. Anyways, the worms escaped upstairs, started an infestation. Probably most of the people are gone. I don't know when the power was cut. Anyways, I need you to take this. This is the plasma gun. It should be able to kill them. Here are these... the rubber gloves. I think if we kill the hive mind brain, they exhibit insect mentality. Definitely there was some intelligence and hive mind going on. So I think if we kill whatever's powering the whole ship, if you guys have managed to find that, then maybe we can stop the rampage going on right now. And she'll kind of like white, like the cold sweat, she'll kind of slump down as she hands everything off to Theo.
Great. Theo will take it and will be like, gloves on.
More.
And then I'm going to pull my little Derringer out and train it on the door.
Great.
Away from where they're going to do their shenanigans. As I am slumped against the wall.
I would say Theo will take her other gun and will hand that off to either Sonia or Alec and be like, here, take this. As she, like, gets ready with the plasma gun, essentially. And Theo will also then order people to be like, go grab a parachute right the fuck now.
Okay.
Already got one.
Right. And it's gonna be like, get everybody else in it right now. We gotta, we're preparing for a crash.
As you guys approach, you have to walk past the containment room. You kind of hear that, same thumping up against the wall. It's not quite as fast as, the skittering, kind of angry, melting humans on the outside. This is more deliberate, this is more intentional, and it is not something that's going to be held at bay very long. And it is big. The other thing that you hear pushing next to it is a... like it is calling out for something. You make your way past this room. Directly on the other side, you hear klaxons that are going off inside the cockpit. That door is bolted shut. You cannot access it. Whatever was in place, it is... You would need like a welding torch or blowtorch to get through this door at this point. There is somebody slumped over the wheel, not moving on the other side. A large pool of blood kind of directly at his feet. No other movement inside that cockpit. So this thing, it's kind of at this moment that you notice a descent. As the ship, without a captain, without a guide, rudderless, and with no power keeping it up, is dipping. You start to hear a storm outside.
Alec is going to quickly run to that surgical room.
Okay.
And he's going to look for his fucking hat, because he wants his hat.
The hat is
Priority.
there. As you open up the room, where you left Mary, she is not there.
Yep, Yep. Okay, quickly, I'm going to go and tell them Mary is no longer here. Also...
And she comes leaping out of the crew's quarters, infected, twisted, blisters all over her body, hive creatures kind of just like poking out of her, amputated arm. What do we do in this moment?
Theo's gonna take the plasma gun and immediately aim it at her and take a shot.
Okay, she is closest to Alec. And she is, as like Alec just broke the door, and she's leaping up behind him. This is a high stakes roll.
Great.
Any of you can choose to assist in this moment if you choose.
I don't have anything to assist with.
That's okay.
If you want to give him a drive or anything, if you want to take an action as well.
What are you? I would love to give you a drive.
You can assist either Theo in this moment or Alec.
Can I do a strike to try and tackle Alec out of the way?
Sure. That will put you at risk as well.
Yeah.
But you can. Absolutely.
I would like to give like a cunning drive to Theo. I'm thinking like a shoot, like aim for the brain, even if it won't stop the whole creature, it should make its movement less coordinated, kind of thing.
Okay, I'll allow it.
Okay.
I got a 6 to get Alec out of the way.
Nice.
You got a what?
I got a 6 to get Alec out of the way.
Amazing. Okay.
Okay. I can't look.
And this is going to be a control roll because you're shooting a weapon.
Okay.
You ever seen the movie Mars Attacks?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, it's kind of like...
I know what it is.
That is a 4.
Okay.
It kind of was for you anyway.
Sorry, you didn't want both your
I
arms.
will also say,
It's not the left.
if Alec is about to take a body mark or any kind of mark, I will spend a drive to use my behind me to take that mark instead and put myself in the fray
I think
instead
it's
of
probably
Alec.
Roderick at this point.
It's going to be...
Also, I don't know that...
It'll be Roderick who takes the hit.
Roderick, then.
But I would like for the four of you to narrate this moment and contribute to what this looks like. Alec, you're standing in the threshold. You feel this thing behind you kind of grabbing and reaching for you. The stage is yours.
I think instinctually he's going to, as he's kind of getting all wrapped up in this thing, he goes to his inner pocket. He pulls out the kind of fountain pen with the glowing tip that's like his bleed detector, and he's just going to try to reach around and start stabbing at it.
Okay.
To get it to release is what he would do.
Okay, you reach around and she's kind of like grasping at your chest and like trying to reach at you, and you like stab her in the hand. She instinctively, the only one this creature has left, Mary not Mary's face directly near your ear. Roderick, what do you do?
I would say I would see Theo raising up the gun, because I was in there with her, next to her, and I, see Alec in danger, so I'll literally just try to dive over and knock him out of the way of the gun and the creature.
Okay. Nettie, what do you do?
Yep. Stressing candy? Is that an option?
That's the last piece of gear that you use as snacks.
Ration.
Like I said before, she'll have been kind of slumping. She'll see the new threat and kind of try to bolster herself up again and slide the gun out. Theo, quick! Up and to the left, just a bit.
Okay. As Roderick dives and knocks Alec out of the way, please describe for me how you attempt to not hit him and hit the creature.
Oh, are you talking to Theo?
Yes. Sorry.
Okay.
In doing so, Theo is going to see it, is going to take that moment to raise a weapon, is seeing what is currently now unfolding of Alec being tackled to the ground by Roderick. As she is going to fire this plasma weapon, she is going to take Nettie's advice in mind and is going to go up and to the left just that little bit, hoping that that is enough to miss Roderick. And if it is not enough, she is going to reach herself in front and sort of kind of try and swoop her arm over them to try and help in aiding to get them out of the way. In that sense of it's get down, get back.
She's monkey building them.
Okay.
She's going for that full, get the fuck behind me, you're not gonna get hurt.
As you pull up this rather heavy weapon, right? It's got that glowworm canister on the back. It is ready to fire. It was humming with power, ready to be released like a horse at a race. You do manage to swing it up into the left, but you will hit Roderick, and he will take a body mark for this. And bleed. So when you do this, and you take this for him, you are taking the weapon and essentially slamming your hand against the side to arc it not just up and to the left, but above you and behind you. It's like you're trying to toss this whole thing to the side of your face. You do not take the bleed mark because you are wearing the rubber gloves.
Okay.
You do take the body mark as the weapon is overheated and presses itself up against your face. The creature in front of you is obliterated. And there's a moment of silence. Until you, Alec, and you, Roderick, on the ground, facing your friend who's now wincing and kind of twisting from pain, Nettie with a shattered arm, and the containment door directly behind her, which is now melted to the side from the weapon. As you see what appears to be a large cocoon of twisted flesh formed from the hollowed husks of what might have been human. As it now has a way out. As metal of the steel begins to fold away, what do you guys do?
So Roderick took a scar and is unconscious.
Oh no. Theo took that, used her ability to take the damage. Yes.
Oh, okay.
So you do not.
My apologies. My apologies. Never mind. We're good.
I feel like I should mention also really quickly.
Oh god, no.
Good.
The Theo has taken now a second scar.
Oh.
Are you unconscious?
She would be unconscious.
Yeah.
The heat from the weapon, and it's just at this point it is sitting on her face as she is collapsed up against the door of this grotesque abomination, is starting to push itself through this steel door like a ripped, horrifying womb as it begins to push forth through this door, almost collapsing the door on top of Theo. Precious seconds you have. What do the three of you do to get her out of this situation? Tom and Steve have made their way to the emergency room. Drunk dude is on the ground, passed out. Those were the people that you had with you.
Sonia.
We need to get the gun off of her. If the gun is actively sitting on her.
And you see, like,
I'm
flesh
going
smoking and
to
sizzling.
say, quick, everyone, drag her into the emergency room and we will try to barricade ourselves in there until we can get things more under control.
So I will push past, I'll remove the gun, pick her up, and try to make a way to the emergency.
Okay.
I will bring the gun with us when Alec gets it off of her.
Okay. The gun is hot. So if you attempt to pick this up, because it's like it overpowered. There was no release of the trigger. So you can take it with you, but it will leave a body mark with you. I just want to make that.
So even just like the handle portion of it,
The whole weapon is superheated.
can I take a glove off of Theo and then try to pick it up with that?
Correct me if I'm wrong, but you do have a singular periwinkle popper left.
That's true. I do have a single periwinkle popper.
Time to pop.
But that's bleed. That's not body. That's bleed.
That would protect you from the bleed of the weapon, but you're right. You would still take the body damage. It's kind of up to you.
I can't do that, or I'm just gonna be out. So,
Leave the weapon. We can wait until the monster's gone past.
all right. I'll help get Theo in there quicker then.
Okay. So, Alec and Roderick, as you get close, you kind of smell this, similar to what you smelled before, Alec, this thick ozone begin to permeate the air as the creature is now punching through the door, and you guys are dragging Theo down the hallway. You are ahead, kind of gesturing them into this emergency room, right where the parachutes are, where everything is. I mean, this thing is horrifying. Its surface is swollen like a bloated tumor. Its leathery skin is marred by an array of mottled, sickly hues. It's not strictly flesh-colored. There are greens and purples and oil slicks. It's moving with kind of a lopsided grace as it kind of pushes itself through this buckled door, being lit, just dimly lit by these pulsing emergency lights that are kind of flickering, both as a portent to what it is, but also behind it in its wake. There's a deep, resonant buzz within the creature as it echoes down the hallway. And the hum is something that is more than just electricity. It's something ancient. It's something from a flare. It is something that has punched through or has been invited. Arcs of electricity are dancing across its skin as little glowworms are kind of poking their little heads out and retreating back in, poking their heads out kind of like meerkats as they duck back into this hive cocoon. However, there is a faint glow that is emanating from within. This outer shell is just a nightmarish patchwork of limbs and faces. What is moving the creatures are 3 to 4 bodies that are bent in different ways. Some are kind of attempting to skitter on all fours. Some are completely upside down and dragging itself across this space. Their faces are hollow and void, and they are staring out with eyeless sockets, and their faces are locked in that expressionless scream that you saw through the porthole, Alec. and it is shuddering, and it is convulsing, as if something inside is straining to break free of this monstrous cocoon. And from one of the pulses, you see what appears to be a human figure inside. Just barely on the other side of the surface, with something wrapping around it. Can't quite make out what it is. What do you do?
Come on, old boy, move a little quicker. Don't look back at that thing, is what I'm gonna yell.
Would you guys like to see a picture of this creature?
Why, of course.
Yes.
Yeah, it's traumatized me even more. I love this.
Okay. Maybe this kind of inspire what happens next. Bear with me.
Oh, cool.
Oh, that's so
I
fun.
like that.
That's why I said don't look back, let's go.
Yay.
What do we do?
I'm trying to run towards the emergency room to get out of here.
Okay.
Because that's where the chutes are, right?
That is where the chutes are. That's correct. And the ship is listing down.
Okay, and I am trying to get Theo out of here and catch up with Nettie and bring Roderick along. Come on.
Okay.
Trying to get Theo into the emergency room and regroup for a second so we can think.
Okay, you guys make it inside the emergency room. The door is shut. Tom wheels this thing, like literally just wheels this thing shut.
MVP right there.
Inside of this room, there is Tom, Steve,
Yep.
and the
Yep.
four of you.
I figured this was coming. Yep.
And there are 5 parachutes,
Yep.
including the one that is on your back, Roderick.
Wait, hold on. Did I miss something? What the fuck happened to Sonia?
Oh, that's true.
Oh, yeah, good question. Okay, what a
You-
little shit.
You?
That's done.
Mm.
Okay. I'm gonna start handing out backpacks.
And you're unconscious.
Mhm.
Actually, I would like to, take a tally and wonder where Sonia is.
I'll say while you're doing this, you've got like smelling salts, and you're waking Theo up. Now, typically in a situation like this, we would move scars, and you would start shifting stats around. Because we're at the end of our assignment, we're going to do that after this. And we're going to hear how these scars manifest inside of you. So, let's take the scene.
Because I have my little adrenaline thing that we failed to use on Mary, but it should work on Theo.
Yeah, Theo, you wake up.
Yep.
You wake up to the question that you asked, which was?
Where's Sonia? Where is she?
Who the fuck is Sonia?
Nettie, where is she?
She was right here. I'll go up to the door. Did the emergency room have a porthole?
Mm-hmm. And what you hear is something...
No.
kind of in the hallway.
I'm starting to hand out parachutes. Here. Tom, help me put this on Steve.
Theo.
I also want to crank down that cuff just a little tighter on his arm or his wrist.
Well, I won't be able to put that on him with his hands bound like that. We have to undo that cuff.
The one side you can undo, but leave this one on. It's like acting like a tourniquet. Essentially, so I'm saying he needs to keep this on.
Okay. I'll allow it.
We could just smash the whole hand. We know the worm is contained in the hand. We could smash the whole thing. We know we can kill the worms with blunt force.
There's too much danger out in the hallway. Can we do this after we get to the complicated? Yeah, come on, Tom. Let's go. Get this man parachuted.
And then you start to hear...
Take out
You start to hear like a squelching outside. Like something is tearing. Like something is splitting open.
I will yell like, Sonya,
Oh my god.
are you out there? Where did you go?
Theo's literally going to be doing the same.
All you hear is squelching. And something kind of shifting out in the hallway. And it's a little more kind of erratic at this point. Like something is unbalanced. And it's like...
And I'm assuming in this room there is a way that we can leap out.
Yes, correct. Remember, there is a door directly opposite this door that you see clouds kind of quickly whipping by as the ship is now listing tip down.
Okay. Here's... Oh, God. I'm gonna... Tom... We get Tom. Once we get Steve parachuted up, Tom parachuted up. Make sure make sure he's going. And I'm gonna look and I'm gonna call on my two favors. Both on one on Nettie and one on Theo.
Fuck that! Absolutely not! No!
It's time to go. We have to go.
God.
You know, he's right. And as the oldest one of the group, I'm calling in my favor on you two, Alec. And you're going with him. And I'm taking that fucking worm out of here.
Okay.
He just needed somebody to call in favor in so he didn't feel bad about it. That's what it was.
Oh.
I already plan on dying during the
I know,
performance anyway, so
I
I think Roger's saying fuck it at this point. Somebody's got to stop the
Then
thing.
you got to give up your parachute.
Yeah, I'll take my parachute off and I'll give it to him.
Okay. Steve and Tom are out the window. Or door, I guess. Just, and it is pouring rain outside as you see.
Nettie, did you say you had some adrenaline?
Oh, this is awesome.
I might need that here.
This is the last one I have.
I'll take it. Not use it yet. I'm gonna wait till they're gone. But yeah.
Okay. What do the three of you do?
Nettie, what are you gonna do?
This is rough. Because this is Nettie's little sister that she just found out about not even 5 minutes ago.
There's not like a parachute slot that's missing in this room or something, is there?
Yeah, you mean like from Nicodemus?
Oh. Maybe.
There
I feel like we would've seen
are parachutes missing from this room.
Mm-hmm. It's classic cinema 101, bro.
No, the periphery guards had him.
The squelching on the outside stops. And despite the klaxons that you hear from the cockpit, which likely has a parachute or two, the slamming up against the wall stops.
I was gonna say Carcosa was coming down the stairs too.
Look, we don't have time. You've got to go.
I know. I go up to Theo. Alec goes up to Theo. He gets right in her face and he says, he's got some tears coming down his eyes. Please go.
I
Let's
can't.
go.
I can't yet. And Theo
I'm
is
calling
going
my
to...
favor as well. You got double favored. Now get out the fucking door.
I'll call all of my fucking favors in if I have to. If my sister is out there, I'm
That's not how
opening
it
that
works.
door.
I'm opening this door, and I'm gonna fucking take this adrenaline and get that gun and kill the fucking monster. So get out the window with your damn parachute and get out of here.
Please listen to him.
We don't have time to keep sitting here arguing about this shite.
It's about at this point that you see the wheel on the door slowly turning.
Theo has no choice.
I'm gonna take that adrenaline and get ready to rush through whatever the fuck is on the other side of the door.
Before you do that, can I walk up and give you a hug and be like, good luck, and then hit you with the adrenaline?
Okay, that works. I like that.
Nettie?
You always were the best magician.
My final disappearing act.
Nettie, are you out the door too?
Not the door that everyone thinks I'm going out of.
No, absolutely not, no. If Theo has to leave, she's gonna fucking take you with her. She will grab you by the goddamn wrist, and if she does have to call in her favor for you, she will. Don't make me do this.
So
Because while they're like pushing Theo out, I don't think the creature had that much intelligence. So if I hear like an opening of the door like a normal human, she's going to probably just go out that door. She knows her friends are back there.
Okay, let's set the scene here. Theo went out was going to go out willingly. If she's going to grab your wrist, right? That's what was said once you decided to pull this fast one.
Yep.
I'm going to shove both your asses out as I'm going out there too. I'm just going to tackle you out and we're all three going out. I'm done with this. You can hate me later.
All three of you start plummeting outside the
Give the
room.
magician's moment.
Roderick, you stand there, the wind and rain whipping behind you. As the wheel finally opens, and directly on the other side is Uncle Al.
Al, I don't know how you made it down here through all that shit, but I'm jacked up right now and I've got a bug to kill.
I didn't see where it went. And he kind of looks towards the cockpit. But this thing has to fucking go down. One more trick, I guess.
Aye. One more trick. Shit, I don't have the gloves.
And he's gonna hold up a
Well,
singular. He's
I
gonna
feel
hold
like
up
you have.
one
some.
singular backpack. And he's gonna place it directly on the ground. And he's gonna step back into the hallway. And pull the door shut. And turn the wheel.
No.
No, I'm turning it back and I'm going back with
As you
He's already called in his favor, so.
as you attempt to turn the wheel,
It's jammed.
it's jammed.
Oh, I fucking knew you were gonna do that too. Oh.
Damn it.
Tried to tell you guys. I knew the shenanigans that were coming through that door.
Well, if there's no way I can get it open, I'm not gonna let the old man go off and die in vain. So I'll take it, but
Okay.
I'm gonna make sure there's no other way I can try to get out to help him first.
It's pretty solid.
Okay.
It's pretty solid. I mean, you could sit there and try to work the wheel, but he's more than likely shoved his cane in there. You probably could eventually break through, but now it's a game of timing. Does the ship go down first? Because this thing is crashing. Kind of with what pieces were left on the table. This is kind of where we were all headed.
Yeah, I will take the parachute and jump out, and I think Roderick would probably start crying a little bit. You know, saying, that fucking old man. because he's the one that kind of brought him into all the stuff after losing his group, and yeah, he'll jump out, try to join everybody else.
You notice that there's like a little note inside your pocket. And as you kind of yank the parachute, you pull the note out of your pocket, and it's on a playing card. And in Carcosa's beautiful filigree that you saw in the opening moment of this entire journey that we went on, it just very simply says, "They're yours now. Uncle Allie." I would love, as you guys are descending in this rain-stricken night, what are your final moments of thoughts that you're having about what you just witnessed and about what you just seen?
I think I'm mainly thinking back to memories of Uncle Al. Like I said, him initially bringing me into Candela and giving me purpose that I had been searching for. Yeah, I think that's what Roderick's focused on as he's descending.
Who would like to go next?
I think Alec is currently getting kind of those waves and sensations back that has plagued and traumatized him for nearly all of his life. Having that sense of peace for that brief trip, being able to interact with someone he really felt or feels something for.
Oh no.
And being able to interact with him.
Go ahead.
Okay. I think Alec, as he is descending, kind of feeling all of that kind of previous feelings that he had before, the gift or cursed, however you look at it, essentially, kind of waving back over him, and then remembering kind of the sense of peace that he had, the ability to interact, touching people and being able to do those things, and kind of the feelings that he was always wanted to display, essentially, towards maybe Theo. And now when he's on that descent, realizes it's kind of back to the way things were. But there's a part of him that's happy they survived, potentially. But it ain't over yet. He also would respect and have a greater admiration for Roderick, although he would never tell it to him if he ever sees him again, which he doesn't think he will. But there's a sense of brotherhood there.
So poor Nettie, with a broken arm, was manhandled out of a doorway.
Gently nudged.
Sorry.
By two people.
Encouraged. Really encouraged.
So, probably in an extreme amount of pain. I think what she does to ground herself, kind of centers herself back in. She starts just kind of pushing all sensations out, to the side, and kind of trying to let the analytical point take over. Like, how far up are we? Are we over land? Are we over water? Thinking back to the training that they had, when is she going to need to pull this parachute? As she's trying to keep focus on those type of thoughts and just kind of stay conscious at this point too, there is going to be the loss that sinks in, because she knows Dr. Carcosa was on the way down. Did he get turned by those creatures? Is, something like that happened? She suspects from the way the door was opening, she kind of hinted at it, that he was there on the other side. What is he... Small bits of hope try to come through? Is he going to save himself? Is he going to save Roderick? Just... It's a constant mental fatigue of trying to push those things out. Then they just come seeping right back in. Sonya. Where's Sonya? Her newly found sister that she might have just lost. A little bit of hatred for this father person. So that'll be a nice compelling thing if we live to have a revenge hunt down story. So, that's the maelstrom that is currently Nettie's mind.
Theo?
There is a moment for Theo in plummeting that is a guttural cry into the ether for the loss that she has already experienced in the war and the loss that she is experiencing now in this moment, because she doesn't know where her known sister is, and another of her comrades has stayed behind to sacrifice his life. And the innocents, or seemingly innocents, that were aboard the ship, that are all now also about to die. And in this moment of anguish and grief, all of that pain and all of these horrors come crashing back down onto her. And through that, she is only even slightly grounded by the memories of the circle, by the meals that they have shared at the Wet Whistle, by the drinking nights with Nettie, by reading the books from Alec, by going over the card tricks and all of the chaos with Roderick. She is only grounded by these simple moments that come flooding into her memory as well. And even though she has the thought of, and the belief that it should have been her, because it was Tim and Jim who sacrificed their lives to save her and their battalion multiple times. And even in that moment, it should have been her. So in this, it should have been me, and it should be me to sacrifice. The only thing that is keeping her even the slightest bit sane is these simple memories of what has happened.
It's at
not knowing who's alive.
Yeah, it's in this moment, kind of the rain falling around you, the crash of thunder and lightning. Tom yells to you, I think we should pull our chutes now! And all of you are kind of caught by the wind and tossed for a second, but then seem to settle. Lightning cracks across the sky and illuminates the Conqueror on its descent directly down into Westrek. I need one of you to choose a roll to see if you catch any other survivors jumping out of this ship.
I've got survey.
Go, go,
I
go!
think I'm about out of anything
Great.
useful, so...
I got
That's fine.
six.
I'm gonna.
Hey,
I'm
I got
just
some
gonna.
survey. I can roll some survey.
You can ask a ghost 3 questions.
I'm gonna burn my drives if that's all right with y'all.
Yeah, do it. Go for it.
Here we go. Holy shit! I got a 6.
In one of the cracks of lightning, you do catch a few other shoots in the sky. Unclear on who they are, unclear of where their loyalties lie, but there's a little bit of hope. What you
I
guys
swear if I find anything, I'm shooting.
What you guys do not see in that crack of lightning, there appears to be, illuminated by electricity itself, a pair of massive moth wings and a slender, lithe figure that is being held up by them. And in that thing's arms, being cradled like a babe, is one final survivor from the Conqueror.
Better not do this to us.
With a shudder,
I
we
will take Audrey and drive to New York, James.
With a shudder, we snap back to the room. And our reliable or unreliable narrator forces his attention back to the journal. Dipping the nib into the inkwell, he pauses, his eyes lingering on the nearly filled page as if searching for the right words to close the chapter of this grim recollection. The room seems to hold its breath with him. For a moment, the only sound is the faint flicker of gas lanterns, flames wavering like ghostly whispers. Then the nib meets paper, and the faint scratching resuming as he writes the final lines. And what a wonderful disappearing act it was. The tale of the Conqueror, of what they uncovered within its depths, is laid bare in ink and shadow. The events are etched with almost a feverish intensity, and every stroke of the pen was laden with the darkness that this circle faced. Finishing report 90205, the spark of catastrophe, he closes the book with a decisive thud, the sound echoing within the confined space like the gavel striking judgment. The weight of the story, of the truths and horrors it contains, hang heavily in the air. He lingers in his seat, his hands resting atop the closed journal, his gaze distant, as if the mere act of writing this tale has drained him of something vital. Rising slowly, he places the journal back on its shelf, carefully aligning it with the others. His fingers linger on the spine for just a moment, feeling the cool, worn leather beneath his touch. It's a tactile connection to the past, to the memories that will forever haunt these pages. With a sigh, he absently thumbs the spine of the book next to it. His gaze is distant and unfocused, locked to the shadows that crowd the room and his memory. The subtle brush of his fingers against the neighboring volume sends a shiver through him, a premonition of what lies in wait in his mind to be written within this book's pages. Turning, he moves towards the door, his footsteps a measured cadence against the stone floor. They echo in this dim space, the metronome ticking away the seconds of his departure. But this scene does not follow our narrator. Instead, it lingers on the shelf, on the book he left behind. And we tighten our focus on it, drawing closer to the spine he thumbed, squinting ourselves to reveal the gold filigree embossed upon it. The letters glimmer in the dim remaining light of the gas lanterns, spelling out a title that sends a shiver through the air. Report 90206, the Electorum Vault. As the sound of his footsteps fade into the blackened corridor, the gas lanterns flicker one last time, their dying flames casting erratic shadows that dance and writhe across these stone walls. Then, with a final sputter, the lanterns extinguish, plunging the room into its all-familiar and all-consuming darkness. The silence returns, thickens, and becomes heavy and impenetrable. Nothing but the void. Thank you so much for watching this wonderful, wonderful show with us. We had a great time. Please like, subscribe, do all the fun stuff that we do here on Crit Eating Grin. Let's roll the credits!